gamers? Welcome back to another episode of the Red Seal Roundup here at Red Seal Gaming. I'm here with my trusty companions, Sal.
Welcome.
And Christopher.
Hello there.
Welcome back, boys.
What's going on?
What's going on? What you been doing? What's going on? What'd you play this week?
Oh, I got my...
with the dark one.
The dark one. Good old friend Beto.
Beto made a return.
Yes, Beto.
For those that don't know, Beto, a.k.a. Brian, a.k.a. the dark one,
Yes.
is a founding member of the Red Seal, of our
and
D&D group.
the individual that designed the logo.
Yes.
This awesome logo.
That drawn. And our faded...
hold on. Wait, let's get the...
Yes. And our faded
That's a
hoodies,
Phil.
which we
That's
won't
a Phil.
talk about.
Oh, God. What are
The
you gonna
artwork
mention?
on them
Let's
was...
not... You know what? You just
But-
you reset the hoodie clock.
That's okay.
Now I'm
You
not.
can reset
Now
that.
I am not ordering hoodies.
How many clocks do we have?
We have a lot of clocks.
Yeah.
I have a clock right here.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
look, it's my wife.
Anyway, so yeah, Beto reached out and was like, I'm coming in Thursday. Want to play a game of Kill Team? And I'm like, I'm totally down. I haven't played yet. So that was me and him sitting there, getting the books and fleshing out the rules.
I saw. Wow, I was banging away at steel in the background, building the lockers. I thought it was
Yes.
actually kind of fitting.
Yes.
Give some like industrial background noise
Yeah.
to your game.
Totally my Orc commandos hitting their heads against the steel as they ran through that battlefield. That's probably definitely a thematic sound. But yeah, we got a first game of Kill Team in. And on a side note really quick, I'm really loving the skirmish games. Like
Yes.
I think playing Warcry, love it. And now getting my first game of Kill Team in, super fun. I like the truncated system. I like it's still Kill Team's way more complex and dynamic than Warcry. But you have shooting. There's a lot more going on in there. But we had a great time, and classic. Whenever I play Beto, whenever I play you, there's always those moments we have when we roll dice. And
Stepping cold correcting.
Code correcting. We had a moment which we've repeated many times throughout our 30-plus years of being friends, a moment where in the game he was running Space Wolves, a bunch of intercessors, and I had the Orc Commandos that came in the box. And I was able to get, now once again, playing to the objectives. It's one of those games, it's not, we're so used to the old guys playing games is like, hey, I'm just going to wipe you off the board. I'm not playing any other system.
Right up in the middle, go straight at each other.
Roll dice.
Roll
Die,
dice. Yeah.
I win. So... really playing to the objectives. So the mission we had was, I think it was 4 or 5 objectives placed, and then the terrain went out, and you had to get to that terrain, the objective spot, and then spend an action point to control it. So once you got there and controlled it, your opponent couldn't get it. He had to do that, either go first next round. So me knowing a little more of the objective, I was like, I'm getting my orcs up there. I don't care if they're out in the wind. I have more bodies.
You got to get that, yeah.
So Beto was just blowing orcs' heads off, but I was taking and holding objectives, and he had a Space Wolf perched up on a top, overlooking one of my orcs. I'm like, B, I got nothing to do. I'm just gonna pop you in the face 3 times.
Yeah.
And I had that moment where I just rolled all those 6s, and Beto's face went back. I felt like we were teenagers again for the hot second.
He's
of
like, you did it again.
Again, I almost took you out, B. One shot. But it was
kill.
super fun. We skipped the whole phase. There's a whole phase of generating command points, spending cards, and you score victory points through that whole phase. Sorry, guys, I don't remember the name of the phase, but I will be playing it again. We're going to get into that next time, do that phase. We just wanted to know pretty much how the round starts and go through all the rules.
We got to film the next one, by the way. Do a box opening of the new Warcry, and then do a walkthrough.
We'll do Warcry. We could totally do the new Warcry.
I'm sorry, Warcry. I meant Kill Team.
Yeah,
I mixed up my skirmish game. Sorry.
How does Kill Team relate to Warcry when it comes to size of boards, much of terrain, complexity of the rules?
It's so Kill Team, after playing Warcry a lot, it's the same cardboard. GW has moved to that complete.
So cardboard, like coffee table size?
Yeah, that board will fit on this white table, which is I think key. Whereas I can't fit a 3x3 X-wing mat on this board, on this table, on these white tables. It really fits right there. So we sat across on Dan's white tables at the store and was able to have one cardboard piece out, that one set of terrain. You actually have your own barricades that you set up individually to kind of kill the open lanes of fire, and their cover system is really complex. It's if you're shooting through terrain but you're not up against it, you can't even actually target him. It's really interesting. All those years of like, can I see you? I see his gun. I'm going to shoot you.
I don't want to say perfected, but let's just say highly improved.
Highly improved. Yeah. And I think when it comes to the core rules seem really easy enough to learn once you went through it. There's some nuances I know we made mistakes on. But yeah, Kill Team just probably about maybe like 2 steps up more complex than Warcry.
There goes that progression you were talking about last time. Warcry is the entry. You want to play some mini games, play Warcry.
Yes.
You want to get a little more complexity, we go
You go to
Kill
the
Team, and then what's the next step?
You go 40K.
40K or maybe Sigmar.
Yeah, well, yeah, each one. Your
Yeah.
Warcry's leading you to
Yeah.
Sigmar, and Kill Team's leading you to 40K. And once again, all same minis.
Mm-hmm.
Though there are some new, some of those like those. The new set is all inside Space Hulk, so it's all hallways and
Yes.
stuff. So that brings new problems for certain warbands. Some warbands are used to being able to sit across and shoot heavy weapons and stuff. These tight confines of a Space Hulk bring whole new issues to certain, and some warbands will excel.
It brings issues to
Things like flamers and melters at a short distance are going to excel in short, bottleneck terrain in these hallways.
It brings issues to game store owners because that box weighs about 37 pounds.
Oh, it's all bulkheads.
It's bulkheads.
It's
yeah.
all
When
plastic.
it came, I didn't even know what it was. I'm like, what the heck did they stick in this box? When I opened, the box weighed 72 pounds because there was 2 of them in it. So
Oh,
it means
dude,
they
oh my
weigh
gosh.
30. Yeah, it's almost 30 pounds a box.
That's
I'm
awesome.
like,
36 pounds a box.
that's a lot of freaking plastic.
It's probably one of the most dense.
It is the most.
Aside from Necromunda sets have come out, like those bulkheads. The only thing they didn't give you was pretty much a plastic floor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
they
it's
give it a regular cardboard stuff. Yeah.
so. So yeah, I mean, me and Bito had a ball. We had so much fun in that I know when I start getting like the DMs, Bito sends me a message, yo. You did that again. I can't believe it. Or like, he's
The
like,
next day, right?
I've already watched like 7 videos on how to play, and we wanted to figure out what we did wrong, which we were pretty, straight on. But yeah, super fun. And once again, I hope that's something we could do. Like, hopefully, we can get one of those that new box. I forgot what it's called.
Which one for which game?
The new Kill Team box. The name of the
Oh.
Space Hulk one.
What is the name of the Space Hulk one? That's a good question.
Regardless,
Regardless, yeah.
it's
Well, he's looking that up. Let me ask you
Yeah.
this. So you've kind of layered them. You said Warcry is your basic, easiest entry. Kill
Yeah.
Team is one step further. But now those are 2 different systems. One is Age of Sigmar, one is 40K.
Yeah, completely.
Do you think, and this is totally hypothetical because this is probably never going to happen, do you think that Warcry, the Age of Sigmar one, should have the Warcry box and then the ability to have a book to make it into a Kill Team level complexity? And then maybe vice versa, have a Warcry, not call it Warcry, but a Warcry level complexity 40K, and then Kill Team being one step above and then beyond? Because I feel like going from Warcry to Kill Team is just a book.
Yeah.
You can use the same terrain, you can use the same stuff.
Same
Warcry has the
boards.
cards. Same size boards, same terrain. Warcry needs the cards, so maybe that's where you start the box set. And then give me a book that lets me ramp it up just a little bit. Let me learn Warcry. Give me a book that lets me turn it into Age of Sigmar Light. Then give me the ability to go into Age of Sigmar. And I could do that in both systems. Give me Warcry 40K. Let me Kill Team up
You're all
when
the
I
way
level
up.
up.
You go all the way to Necromunda if
Then
you
I
wanted
can level
to,
up further.
where
Like
it's-
that would be a
I think that's where they've been having an issue. It's in the past, the Kill Team and the Warcry are basically a board game. Plays on a small board.
more.
really
You
complex.
can do campaigns, but
You can,
yes,
but
they're more or less.
it approaches you that way. It makes you look at it as a board game step with some minis. The problem always was we liked like Warhammer Skirmish. That's like I think the next level he was looking for. Skirmish was really like a light Warhammer,
yeah.
and I think they've been having trouble with that. And this is what they came up with instead of the Skirmish.
Yeah, I mean, I think it once again, it's outside of the normal rule set of it's not 40K. Like
Yeah.
it's got its own rules, which we always said. Smartest thing they ever did
I
was
think it
like
is, yeah.
don't make 40K light smaller because it doesn't work when you have 8 guys as opposed to But yeah, I mean, I would love to see a Warcry just a little bit more deeper or a little more expansive of like the scoring cards. One thing I think Warcry excels on, which I think 40K probably needs to do, is you randomize the terrain. So there's a card, you flip it. That's how you set the terrain. Me and Bito had to set up the terrain on our own, even though the objectives are already down, and we technically didn't know where we were going to start. We're too old. I'm not walking around. I'm taking where in front of me.
Where I'm sitting.
But it didn't have that ability to GW sets the terrain for you, and I think Warcry excels in that because now we really can't argue. We don't even know the mission yet in the boards. The mission is there, and then
A little more cookie cutter.
yeah, or it's a little less contentious, right? So I think 40K because of all the shooting and I mean hand to hand was violent. Like, and it was a weird system where
The parry or you do damage or
we
you parry.
both roll our dice together. Even though I charged you, we both roll the dice, and because I went first, I say if that's a hit or a parry, and then we trade dice back and forth until either someone's unconscious or we run out of successes.
Personally, I like that system better because you could take an opportunity to put someone down. Like if you know he's low, you could just say, you know what, I'm just going to be aggressive. Even if I take an extra point or two, I need to put this guy down.
Yeah, you could be like, this could be a pivotal moment. But that was kind of cool. But I think that I also think there's a moment where GW decided that, like, I wouldn't be surprised Curse City was supposed to be like the Necromunda of the fantasy setting, and they botched it. You know what I mean? They just couldn't be it. You know.
I tell you, that's that little area that Chris is looking for is where they struggled to get a foothold and get people used to it.
I mean, like making Kill Team a little bit easier. Like we didn't play with that whole phase, right? We're playing the card, and it brings a whole nother level of complexity to the game, having that phase and the command points and spending them and doing things, and then there's all these other tactical op things you could do. Without that, it was almost like you said. It was almost like we were playing almost that version of that easier version of just like, you know, still playing to just what the objective gave us. But I don't see why. Like I said, it's only a book, right? Like, just give us, you know, here's stage 1 Kill Team. You want to play stage 2 Kill Team? Add this. You want to play stage 4 Kill Team? You know, add, you know, X amount of other things, components.
That probably would be a wiser way to go to get us into the next book. The problem, though, again, different rule set.
Yeah. But the minis are still, I mean, the minis are your investment in the end. Like, I don't mind books, and they go out of, like, Kill Team, all my old Kill Team books are pretty much dead. You know what I mean? I got new book.
Yeah.
I don't mind, though. I'm used to that with, like, you know, Dungeons and Dragons, or, like, new editions of books. But once your minis are kind of Plastics Eternal in that sense. So, you're interested to see. But I definitely, the different impression, Kill Team was obviously being in the 40K universe. I wasn't even thinking about 40K. But it's, Now, that's why that's here. That's my Chaos Cultist guy, you know, the infamous guy that I got Beto in Dark Vengeance box set. We played the starter missions.
Yes.
And Beto remembers one cultist taking down a Terminator.
That was how many years ago?
That was, what, 6th edition?
Yeah. And this box, by the way, is Kill Team Into the Dark.
Into the Dark.
Is the one with all the walls. Looks very almost Space Hulk.
It is, yeah.
Do you think they're putting that out and supplanting like a Space Hulk release? Because it's been a good hot minute since a Space Hulk came out.
Yeah. So
I don't remember the last one.
People, you know what? And then supposedly the first release for 40K in the new edition is supposed to be Blood Angels.
Which would be opportunity.
Which would be a Space
Hulk. Which would be a tie-in small box game with Blood Angels. Here's new Terminators or Primaris. Like, people think that we might see the first Primaris Terminators come out in conjunction with that. We'll see. And I'll hold my breath.
All right.
Anyway, so yeah, so
what else is going on 40K?
Leagues of Votann Army box got announced. It's actually going to pre-order this Saturday. It's currently Wednesday. The box is, again, another bargain from GW. The Army boxes have been really, really, really good value.
Those mega boxes tend to be
20. We're looking at 25 minis. You got Uther, who can also be built as a Khal if you want. The Einhar Champion. 3 of the Pioneers, which are the Trikes, the Grav Trikes. Yeah, 20 Hearthkin Warriors, which is probably 2 boxes of 10, which is probably going to be about $50 a box when they really release them. The limited edition cover codex, about a $60 value there.
It's usually more than the normal cover.
Data cards, $15 to $25 value there, depending on how many. And they're throwing in the Judgment tokens.
There's no that big tank's not in there, right?
The big guy's not in there. The Fortress,
the Turtle Van,
the
Ninja
Turtle Van. Yeah. So soft calculations.
Yeah, what was the name of it?
$200 box is probably about $270 to $300.
Let me just say the words: Hecaton Land Fortress.
Land Fortress.
Land Fortress.
Oh, it just sounds like
so you're saying you're talking like $70 to $100 in savings?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, which they do in the Army boxes.
Yeah.
You know.
But we talked about this previously. I also wonder, is this more of a savings because it's such a new army and they want you to go deep?
It would be a smart thing to do, and they've done it. So let's just.
It's not like it's an updated range. It's when a brand new range comes out, like, let's give you value.
Think about it too. Here's an opportunity to say, hey, listen, these are all new models, and they could hit you with it. I was expecting this box to be $240 to $270. Honestly,
I mean, some of the Necromunda boxes are almost $300, right?
Yes,
like,
that's
so I mean,
why I was expecting this with 25 models and a limited edition cover, and the cards, and the little goodies like those Judgment tokens. As far as I know, they're only available in the Army box right now. I don't know if they're going to sell them separately. Things like that become a chase item. Either way, you're looking at close to $300 in value. So this is if you want to get a new Army, and what's the last really truly new Army? I mean, they threw Custodes at us, but it was small.
Years back, Knights in both sides came out. That was a newer kind of.
I remember like when Mechanicus came out, like with the Skitarii and stuff like that.
That was,
but this is a full blown.
It's a new Army.
Army, even though it's technically related to squats. They're not squats. They're,
it's when they don't have a range.
They're not squats.
They gotta go.
They are the don't start this.
They gotta go.
Don't start this bias.
Listen to me. There's dwarves in that army with no beards. That's all I know about.
That's what it is.
Well, they really got to go then.
They really gotta go.
Well, some of them have beards and some of them don't.
I know. Some of them look like they got melted off.
Yeah. Well,
That's what you gotta do.
In space,
you know what you got to do? You got to make them go.
In space, no one can hear you scream when you lose your beard.
Well, here's hoping that GW, please, I know you're listening. Bring them into Kill Team. Like make a Kill Team rules for them right away.
I'm actually hoping that in the codex they have like a little, just like give me a little data sheet,
or even
you don't need a lot.
White Dwarfs. They've been doing
it in the White Dwarf too.
So like all of the most recent Warcry stuff has been like within the few weeks or less than a month of their releases. They've already got Age of Sigmar, data slates for we could play them in Age of Sigmar. So. Let's hopefully Kill Team gets the treatment where they put it right in the White Dwarf.
Well, White Dwarf 480, which just hit the shelves, is completely the Season of Skirmish.
Yeah.
It's 40 of the pages, which is roughly probably about half of the magazine, maybe a little bit more. It's all Skirmish.
Yeah, they got a lot of. There's
it's
a lot of Kill Team
and
Warcry.
Warcry.
A lot of Kill Team.
The cover is actually Kill Team and Warcry together. And if I see that correctly, I think that's a squad.
Look at that.
Oh my God.
Gotta go.
Oh my God.
But like that's a range
I'm
where
getting my beard ready, boy.
That's when you look at a new release. That's a range that had no miniatures.
Yeah.
Like I always look at Praying for Emperor's Children one day. Even though there's Chaos Space Marines, there's no Emperor Children models. It's always been like here's an arm.
Yeah.
So like that's a range when that comes out. It's like to me that's a new release because there's nothing in the range. You've been using other things, but squats. Votan's really new because
Leagues
they don't.
of Votan.
Yeah. LOV.
LOV. There we go.
Yeah.
There you go. The LOV.
I don't love anything about them.
I love everything about them. Okay, stop.
Nice.
What else we got?
We got actually preemptively. I probably want to do a box opening because I'm going to have it early.
That's cool.
So maybe next week,
printing,
even if it's just me ripping it, maybe you guys don't deserve to be in that video. Okay, that's what it is.
I'll be full. I'll be in that
You'll
gas
be in
mask.
that gas mask
Yeah.
if we do this video.
Yeah.
All right. Just to crack it open, see what's in it, get a first look at the sprues, catch us sniffing the sprues because sniffing the sprues are always like my
Well,
favorite
it's the printing ink.
the release.
It's
the
that
release
printing
agent.
ink is just like.
Well, that release agent releases my inner child, so I definitely want to smell it.
Smells like youth.
They also.
It smells like 1987 when I was still in junior high school. Yes.
We also.
How old I am.
Oh my God. We also got from GW the new Croxagore Blood Bowls Croxagore Star Player miniatures.
Yeah, Spike 15 is coming out soon, so the Amazons are going to have their rules finally. And yes, there's a new Croxagore-esque Lizardman that's going to be in there. His name is Glottalstop, which is fantastic.
Glottalstop?
Glottalstop. GLOTL.
I thought it was going to be neck snap.
STOP. Glottalstop. The scaled slasher.
How often?
Snapjaw?
It's not Snapjaw. How often does he shed a skin?
How many skins?
I have no idea, but hopefully he can get some SPP.
And he'll be eligible for Amazons and Lizardmen.
He should be. I mean, they're part of the Lustrian Super League. He should be a
good.
Super League star player, so they should be available for
I like that. The Illustrian
the
Super League.
Lizardmen as well as the Amazons.
Sounds like the Legion of Doom.
Because the Lizardmen have like a star player, but it's a Zote. They don't have any like big actual
it's a new
Lizardmen model.
Zote, right? It's that new Zote model?
Oh yeah, it's new.
Yeah.
It's not old, but I mean it's still not a Lizardman per se. It's
I
a
get
different
you.
race.
Yeah. But pretty impressive sculpt.
He looks
Oh,
awesome.
it was fantastic.
Once again, if you're a Seraphon player and you don't have those, you have to look at your 1996 Croxagores in your army. Those miniatures make me mad. Like,
it should give you hope. Look at it that way.
Yeah, no.
Give you hope. This is what they could be doing. So maybe they will do it. It only took how many years for your Berserkers?
I graduated high school. I remember.
So we also got the Goliath Mauler bikes, which are like the Ram bikes with the giant wheel in the front for the Goliaths for Necromunda.
Oh,
They're
yes, the
coming out.
Necromunda release.
Yeah. New Necromunda hardcover book, Cinderfall Burning, which is the storyline is a Civil War campaign. Apparently they try to assassinate the leader of the Hive.
Is it still Lord Helmwall?
They try to assassinate him. It's a failed assassination attempt, which sparks a civil war.
That's interesting.
So that's pretty wild.
That's a cool campaign in a closed Hive environment.
It's a cool idea because now you're gonna have two people with the same army, and it makes thematic sense, like why they're doing it.
Why they're doing
two
it.
Goliaths,
Maybe
two Ashers, two anybody.
Maybe they're back in this guy, and I think it's what's her name? There's a female antagonist that's in the Necromunda. I can't remember her name.
Okay.
But she's the one that sparks the rebellion.
Interesting.
4 new sets of dice for Necromunda. Squats. They're actually squats. I'll say it. Nomads, Goliath, and Orlok dice for Necromunda. So that's all the new releases coming from 40K. But I guess and Necromunda. But we can.
That's not the only GW news though.
That's the thing. We can kind of do like a Scooby Doo
segue
into 40K. And we'll only leave 40K partially and go into the world of Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, the IP is dripped into another.
Yes, because the MTG Commanders have fully been spoiled. We have all 4 Commanders now for the 40K decks, which will be releasing October 7th. For the Imperium, we have Inquisitor Greyfax, who is a white, blue, black deck.
Gotta go.
We have the Necrons. We have Zarek, the Silent King, is a mono black deck.
All cool.
The Tyranids are being led by the Swarm Lord.
Pretty cool.
Classic mini. The art looks fantastic.
Yeah, the art. Well, their art's always top notch.
Green, blue, red. And we might have to have a topic discussion about why it is blue in Tyranids. Think Zoanthrope. Think Hive Mind.
We'll do it.
We'll do a deep dive.
We'll hash it out really quick.
That's going to be a deep dive later. Stop the grumbling in the background, Mr. Ruinous Powers. By the way, being led by none other than Abaddon the Despoiler, who is also blue, black, and red. So the 4 commanders have been revealed. There's been some spoilers.
Didn't they show 5 cards in like spoiled cards from all
throughout the set? There's a bunch of leaks. There's someone who's gotten their hands on the Tyranid deck, and they just kind of did a quick
that they showed the
quick
whole.
like flip through of all the cards. So we've seen some other cards. The art is great when you put Magic art with GW art.
Yeah,
I mean,
they hire the best artists.
Those two companies. I mean, it's a match made in heaven. It's chocolate and peanut butter. The art is fantastic. It looks amazing. The Abaddon card looks fantastic.
Yeah, I know
I saw Calgar. I was very happy with Marnie's Calgar.
Yeah. We don't know the second commander in the second legendary creature in the Tyranids.
In the Tyranid deck. We don't know who it is.
Or the Necron.
Or the Necron, who the second one is. It's probably going to be
Rando Metal Skeleton number 6.
Well, I mean, it's mono black. I mean, come on. So
Skeleton number 6. No, I don't think so. They have several named characters.
Yeah.
So they can easily, and because it's mono black, they can really pick any one of them. They are regular versions of the Commander deck, which we're probably looking somewhere in the $50 range a deck, and they're coming out with a fully collector's foil edition. Of
the whole deck's foil.
The whole deck is foil, but it's not just foil.
That's a whole tube of Pringles right there.
Wait. Let's not do that. Oh, that's easy now.
Hope it's sour cream and onion.
Easy now. I'm never gonna get any Magic product at this rate. Let's not do that. We're not talking about snacks right now. Let's leave the Pringles at home. Maybe this will change it. This is a new kind of foil. It's called a Surge.
Oh, they actually have
it's a new
copyright
foil.
that. You better. I'm gonna.
They're calling it Surge foils. We've seen imagery, some video of them holding the card and flickering back and forth. Looks very reminiscent to a Pokemon foil, like super crazy loud.
What was that new foil I showed you? My daughter opened one. There's that full Pokemon. It's a regular card. It's not a hollow, reverse hollow. There was a name for that foil that you called it. It had the cross hatching.
Oh, the textured foil? Is that what you're talking
about? Yeah, there's a name on the bottom. It was called something, but it had a different foil look.
Okay.
Maybe. Oh, the Radiant. You're talking about the Radiant.
A Radiant card, yes.
Where the foiling actually was like cross-hatched.
You see, I mean, it's very pronounced.
And it looks very, very good.
So
those Pokemon Radiants look awesome.
So
this
maybe
is
that's
not cross-hatched. It is, but it is a single. There was a like a slashing kind of.
Yeah.
I bet that texture helps them not Pringle. I hope that's one of the reasons why they do it.
If it's a filament, if it's actually a filament that, think about it, like how do you back something with rigid strength in the cards? Maybe that helps.
The textured ones that we have already from Double Masters, I have a few in the store in the case. Ulamog and Liliana, and they are not. I took the chance and I left them out because I need to know. They have not. 3 weeks in, and they're still
breathe on them.
They're out in the atmosphere. I'm out there, Jerry.
It's been humid.
I'm out there.
It's been humid. So,
to quote Kramer, I'm out there. So they have not pringled. So The problem though is the decks currently on Amazon are going for approximately $175 a deck, and this is Amazon on the MTG store. So
I don't know if that's a problem though.
I don't know if it's a problem. I mean, I've already
Command-
seen how much I'm paying for them, so I don't think it's a problem because they are expensive even on my side. So,
But I mean, like Commander deck's 100 cards.
Yeah.
You're getting 100 foil cards. If you went to TCG Player and tried to foil your entire 100 card deck, no matter who you play, whether it's the jankiest of the jank, that's going to be a pretty penny.
A
Triple the
60
price?
card deck, all foiled, would be,
well, if you like Chris, to bring Chris's point to fruition, if it's a 100-card deck, let's say it's a $300 deck, and that's probably low to mid range for a decent Commander deck, foiled out probably $900.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
mean,
yeah, and that's not even the top cards.
No,
like you're
that
talking
just
like,
every card. I mean, some cards are gonna be $2, $3, but like the top cards, like your $100 card is probably $150, $200 foil.
you could have a pauper Commander deck and try to all foil it and probably come out to be more than that if you bought the single.
yeah, no,
Probably
that's-
right.
So I mean,
That's right. So it makes sense.
Is it a tough pill to swallow? Of course it is, because it's a very expensive deck,
It's a tough pill to swallow because they're making you swallow it right now.
and you're making it swallow
Yeah.
4 times.
You don't
if
have
you
to
want
take,
all of them.
like you take cod liver oil when you were a kid. You take a couple sips here and then drink some water. Take a couple sips, drink. That's your method of foiling out your Commander
Card
deck.
by card.
You know
This
what?
is here's the horse pill, and you have to swallow.
Well, think
it,
about
right?
this,
That's
and
what
this
it is.
could be the classic fishing lore. They're doing
Oh,
it.
yeah.
So they're doing it in the 40K set first, right? They've
Yep.
never done this before. So maybe it's
Yeah.
only a matter of time before you get the next in-world plane Magic set that's all for. I mean, I think that would even be more. I mean, once again, I don't know how many people that play Magic are going to enjoy the 40K crossover as a Magic staple. We discussed this before, but wait till they do the next, plane set that's, in.
Wait until Lord of the Rings is all foil.
Oh my goodness. Well, they've done foiling in the process, and they had a sliver deck years ago that you could buy, and the whole sliver deck was foil.
And you know how much that sliver deck's worth?
Right now, it's worth a lot of money. So here it is, again,
They're
in a Commander
testing the
in
Voltas.
the most played format currently. Slap on a fantastic IP on top of another fantastic IP.
They're
and you
chumming.
just have-
They're chumming. This is chum.
This is- I think you need a bigger boat.
Yeah, you
I
gotta-
think you need a bigger wallet.
Dan, you need a bigger
You
store.
need a
Come on.
big- well, we always need a bigger store. That's never going to change.
No, really. I mean, this is a total chum fest. And it's
Yeah.
just like, what's
Yeah.
going to
And
show up?
you see Chum, and I see Jaws just coming up, gobbling it all up, and that's what everybody's going to do. They're going to gobble it up. I told you we had mentioned it briefly on the Discord server, just trying to gauge interest in July before I started to pre-order these things. I didn't know. Are the Magic players going to care for a Commander deck, or the 40K players? Do they even play Magic? I mean, I know of a couple that cross over, but
Yeah, this is a full-fledged
Yeah.
sci-fi set that's going to intrude on the
Yeah.
idea of, like we talked, like we might as well bring it up, like
Yeah.
we talked about before, about the color identity being an issue. Is that, for me, all right, so I don't play Magic anymore. I got tired of that perpetual chase, and I am a collector, and that just makes me just like want to shoot myself in the head now, especially where it's at. When I was collecting, every 3 months, I got one set in a block of 3, and I thought I was in hell.
And there was draft boosters. That was it.
Yeah, and it was
Yeah,
draft boots. So
only
you're-
draft, nothing
only
else.
draft. So mind you, where my brain comes from, but I'm thinking about the color identity, and once again, Calgar. We talked about. You could make a case of why they would be black in Calgar, but like someone who's on the outside, the peripherals looking in, like myself, I look at that, I'm like, well, why is he black? I mean,
Yeah.
he could be white, blue, and maybe some red.
your
know.
40K head is saying, why is he black? Because he's the good guy.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's that color identity that's so specific with Magic, and they've blurred it over time. But there's certain things. Then, like, all right, now I'm going to take that color identity and translate it into these, mono black Necrons. Totally makes sense to me.
Everybody agrees that makes sense.
That's yeah.
It's a zombie
Easy-
deck.
easy
slam
When
dunk.
when you look at their effects, like in his card ability, it's a zombie deck, so cool. But like Chris, you mentioned about the blue and the Tyranid deck.
Yeah, I mean, I've always Dan has been mentioning the idea that they have psychic powers
They
and
do.
things like that.
Hive
Yes,
mind.
that is kind of blue
Big brain
magic.
zone thropes.
But when I think blue magic, I think intelligence. I think of card draw. I think of being smarter than your opponent, and that's what gives you the edge.
I
And
think of no.
I don't think.
Yeah, like the interrupt. I don't think a Termagant's going to interrupt.
No, I think a
anything in the
Termagant's
battlefield.
going to rip your face off, and that's how he interrupts you from killing him,
And red
which
green.
is red-green.
Red green.
So,
But also think hive mind. I told you.
It
They all-
works.
that's how they communicate.
There's plausible.
and I made the example of the bees and the hornet's nest are a hive mind, and they're not going to solve an arithmetic equation.
No.
So it's
It's a weird. I'm curious how much that
Yeah, but
affects people.
bees don't have zone thropes though.
They can dance though.
They can't. They can dance. They do. The queens, hey, what's up?
Little-
Shake that
the-
booty.
Shake
Little
that-
wiggle.
Yeah,
Little shake that booty.
Wiggle, wiggle. Oh my God! I said that. But yeah, so I don't know if that's something that bothers.
And it's crashing and burning.
Here we go. Here we go.
All right.
This happens bullshit sessions.
Yeah, this is where it gets really bad.
But yeah, I mean, we discussed how it works and how it doesn't work.
My black. How did he get Marnie's Calgar with black on it? Like you get white, you get maybe a little bit of blue, okay. But how did you get black? Because black is automatically associated with evil in the 40K world. I just look at it; they're called the Angels of Death, and black is death.
True.
So
At the end of the
and they
day,
bring death wherever they go.
at the end of the
To
day,
the enemies of the Imperium.
I do care about the color identity, but I think more importantly, I just want the 4 decks to play well against each other.
Yeah,
Which is what they
be
probably decided.
I want this to be a set that I can
Sit down with four
these 2
buddies.
other dudes and maybe somebody else sit down with those 4 decks and have a really cool commander game and as long as it feels good.
Give Beto the black deck.
Yeah.
I'll take the Imperium deck. You take the
I guess
Tyranid
I'm
deck.
taking the Tyranids.
The Tyranid deck, and you can have the Ruinous Powers deck, and we go.
Chaos.
And we go. And just sit down and just enjoy
I think
40K cards with Commander. you know?
that's always like GW's like they intend you to play a certain way and nobody plays that way. Like, but
Yeah.
like they force that like the biggest part of the book is narrative and
Yes.
this match plays 2 pages.
Uh-huh.
They're forcing you. It would be cool like if this was like more like play this amongst this and then not
Well,
worry about the
that's-
outside greater world of the card game. But it is what it is. I think like we said, those 3 colors are there to make them viable as commanders in other outside of maybe their decks
my concern as a store owner. Okay, I like to go behind the counter again because it's a different perspective I've developed since owning the store. There's one deck with green. One.
Isn't there
Green
one,
is
and
without
and
a green.
three, 3 decks with blue.
3 decks with blue.
isn't there one white?
And but white is not the most popular color in Magic. Green and blue are, from what I've seen. Green is the ramp, and blue is the
No.
Big chunky
right.
boys.
Big chunky and card drawer and all this stuff. So there's only one deck with green, which from that standpoint as just a Magic player, never mind the 40K names, never mind horseshoeing colors
Are
on
you
heroes.
going to get cards in there that are...
Where's the green, bro? That's what I'm gonna hear. There's no green. I love green. Where's my green? It's in one deck.
I'll take a page out of your book. It's because it's the Imperium. It's 40K. There's grim. There's no trees
There's no
in
trees.
any
Yeah,
of those
there's
books.
no life.
There's no
Yeah.
life. There's no rampant growth.
Yeah, that's...
It's all the rampant growth is the orcs. Like when you get the orc deck, that's when you'll get your green.
Yeah. Phil has reached from the warp and hit me up. He doesn't have his microphone, but he did text me as we're speaking. Shadow in the Warp is a counter spell. There you go. That is straight out of.
Who's in that? What deck
That's
is
from
that?
Tyranids.
Okay.
See, thank
No.
you.
It makes
But
sense.
wait. Mark an occasion, by the way. Phil and I on the same page. What's today's date?
Whoa.
What's today's date?
Whoa.
Now you
Today's
guys
the-
are screwed. I have an ally on the show.
let's talk-
and,
9/14/22.
and he's behind the camera.
Let's
I'm writing-
talk Halo.
What's
Let's
today's-
go. Come
what's
on, here we go.
See, they want to make us fight, Phil. Let them fight. They want to make us fight. Thank you, Phil. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, definitely, I mean, there's obviously plausible for everything in Magic. It's just, once again, if you look at it from a 40K standpoint, you're telling me Abaddon has black in his thing and Calgar, I mean, diametrically opposed, and they share that. But I understand
can make
where
it
it
work,
works in Magic, so it's cool.
But I think
I
we
think-
we can all agree that the Magic player is going to care a little less. They're going to look
No.
at the what's on the card, how the card works,
Yeah.
what
How
his
does it
power
work?
is,
Yeah.
and they're going to
Exactly.
enjoy
Yes.
that experience.
Yeah.
It's a 40K perspective that'll have that 40K player that plays Magic like us will have this thought. That's
Yeah.
all. The Magic player, can I kill you with it?
And once again, it's always like, I want
Can
to
I
play.
kill you with it?
I would
A
love
lot. Give me 2, Dan.
And it's the because GW games are very much based on identity. You play your faction, and it's you're behind your faction.
Yeah.
There are no orcs in this kind of Magic system, so you can't play them.
Yeah.
It's not like that. It's kind of like a mixed bag. So it's like you said, play it like a closed cube of 4 awesome decks
And I
to play
think
amongst.
that was the whole premise behind what this is called is the universes beyond. That's why it's a standalone.
Yeah.
That's why it's not
Which
a
is
whole
cool.
set. It's not. It's a it's got its own little symbol. It's kind of almost like the unsets back in the day. Played in its little contained.
Give me 2 more 40K commanders like next year.
That would
I
be
can-
cool.
I can add to my original 4, and then like maybe
bring the
build
orc.
2
Yeah,
more.
bring the other. Where's the
Yeah.
orc? Because they're gonna build. Where's the orcs?
Eldar.
Where's
I
the
mean,
Eldar?
Give us the
All right, real quick. Orcs. What colors?
ooh,
Red green.
red
green?
green black. I think.
Okay, that would work.
If-
I'd agree with that. I agree with it. Eldar.
White, blue, red.
White, blue. I don't know about the
white,
red.
blue for sure.
The
they
red
have-
or
'cause
because
Kane.
Kane, right? That's
They
right,
have
yeah.
the,
So
like,
you could have a
they
little
have
red
a
in
whole
there.
faction that's about like
And
you
he's
know,
a demon, right? Technically,
No,
is he
he's
a
like an
demon?
avatar, but he's like the avatar of the god that's like
Yeah.
like their wrath,
Yeah,
kind
okay.
of, you know. So
Okay, so I mean, you could splash red in there.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that. Any other races that we could think of that like super popular? We got orcs, marines. They've pretty much hit the
yeah,
all
'cause
the
everything's-
keynotes they've hit, right?
Comment below if we're missing any of that.
If
way
we're
we
missing-
can
I'm
we
sure
can talk
somebody
about it
has-
next week.
Oh, you want to talk about the Leagues of Votan already in a commander deck?
No, thank you.
Beam weapons, baby.
What
Ooh, I'm
color?
getting psyched.
What
I can't
color
wait
is
for it.
identified as beard?
mono ass.
Mono. Oh, Jesus. You know what? If there's anybody out there that wants to do this box opening with me that really likes Leagues of Votan, you know, give me a holler. Like the guys that pre-ordered the box, you know, maybe we can have you on. I need cohorts, not enemies at all times.
Well,
I'm surrounded by enemies. here.
Traditionally, dwarves.
Imperials, right?
You in dark helmet.
You're
all
an LB
surrounded.
you're an
Wait till we
elf
have
brother.
our X-wing conversation next
Oh,
time.
that's just forget.
That'll
Oh
be
yeah, right. Here
full
we go.
gear next week. Anyway, the
Don't worry, Din Djarin. You and me, bro.
traditionally dwarves were white red. When you made your dwarf deck, there's a lot of white red dwarves
Yes.
in like
Yeah,
you do.
traditionally, magic dwarves are
It's
white
like
red.
military and mountain.
Yeah.
Mountain, yeah.
And usually red have all the mechanical parts
Mhm.
of the, you know,
Yep.
Kaladesh and
So
all
that
those
would
kind
work.
of flavors.
That could work.
But you need a third color. What would it be? We don't know enough about them maybe to even. They have psychic abilities.
Maybe green.
That's tough.
I don't like it, but I.
Yeah, I don't like saying it either.
It is, once again, color identity is a hard thing when it's already predetermined.
I'm also
and slap it on other things.
like I think two colors might have been better for 40K for Warhammer in general. Maybe they're just doing the third color so they can get more
for it is commander.
more
like,
commander, so you can get more cards in. You have
Yeah,
more
it
options.
just makes it gives them more options.
Yeah. I am looking
A little
forward.
less shoehorning when you can get the third color in there.
And
too.
you had mentioned that maybe they gave certain characters certain colors so they could fit into a tricolor
Tricolor
deck.
deck.
Yes.
Like not that maybe he deserves that color, but maybe he needs that color to fit in this deck with this other commander. Because they
Yes.
always give you more than one commander in these as well.
Yes.
Well, that was I'm curious. Like, so it's Abaddon and Be'lakor is the second one, and then we know the Inquisitor and then Calgar are in there, but we don't know the other ones.
Yeah, I don't know what the second alternate Necron is. The alternate Tyranid.
It's
And this-
undead skeleton number
and
6.
number 6. What if it's number 4?
No,
What
it's
do we do
definitely number
then?
6.
I don't want to misinform everybody.
Number 6 is much cooler.
Also, on the same note, secret layer drops
Boom.
for this stuff. There's going to be 40K. There's going to be
And two new announcements, right? Came with that.
Age of Sigmar,
And the one that I'm gonna buy is
Blood Bowl.
Blood Bowl.
Secret layer drop. Star players, maybe, can you
That's
say? Can you, like the iconic guys from Blood Bowl?
I honestly can't think of how they're gonna do it. Like
Star players.
I mean, probably star players, but I mean, is it only going to be legendary creatures that you can build a commander deck
I'll
around?
let you, I mean, I want to see the Dwarven, the Death Roller?
Oh my god, the death roll.
The Death Roller?
Well, that's
would be great.
iconic. Like we think
Yeah.
like some of the more iconic.
It'll probably be like Griff Oberwald. He's like the,
Yeah.
the star player of star
Star player,
players,
yeah.
or
Mhm.
Morgan Thor. Like it'll definitely be something like that, I imagine.
Interesting.
Well,
And
that,
Age
that
of
just
Sig-
shows you how deep they're going. So
Yeah.
now it's hitting on all platforms.
And once again, Age of Sigmar it's more in the fantasy realm, so it's easy to like.
That's a
throw
little easier to
anybody.
transition, I think.
You
yeah.
could throw Archeon
Well, at least
on
our
there, you could
brain,
throw-
maybe we're the ones with in the end, we might be the ones with the problem because we do both, and we have a harder time fitting it.
Yeah.
Whereas the Magic player won't. But the Age of Sigmar, yeah, it's like
You're in the fantasy realm already.
Nagash,
So
black.
oh, that'd be
You know,
awesome.
okay.
Black blue.
It,
Black blue
black
Nagash.
blue, black blue spells and death.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
Black blue.
Spells and death, right?
Yeah. Archeon's
See?
red black.
But what is his
Go
third
ahead.
color? Because we know he's going to have a third color. What's Nagash's
Nagash's third color? He doesn't get a third color. Why does he get third color? He's blue
Well,
black.
all these are 3 colors, right?
Well, they don't have to be. The Necron one's black, and that's.
All right. Well, then make a case for white. Not so much of the soldier and like adding to the zombie,
military,
the black.
like-
Like those will. Here's more +1/+1s for the 1/1s. You know what I mean?
I like that.
Yeah,
I
that
like
works.
that.
There you go.
So,
There
like,
you go.
I mean, because that's the thing. Like they have like
But
those.
then you think Nagash and white like that.
No. Because it's like you think it's holy, but
It's
Orzhov,
enhancement. White is a lot of enhancement magic too. So he does, the undead do it in
All
here.
right, let's not do the color identity
Orzhov
hurts.
I mean, it's a tough argument.
It's
for
tough,
Us.
it's tough.
a tough argument.
but
It really is.
but it's
I
really,
wouldn't even say argument. It's a tough discussion.
yeah. Well, secret lair is traditionally what, like usually 5 cards up to like maybe 8, not like.
Okay,
They've
it's all
varied,
over,
but
it's
I mean,
all over the place.
it's usually less than
And then
There's-
there's,
there's
regular.
usually
and
not
foil. Let's
20,
not even
though.
talk money. There's
No.
regular. There's foil. There's usually not. Well, they'll probably do the whole drop for the month will be all those.
Well, yeah, all three of those come out October 17th, I believe, is when they.
Right, so that's 10
October
days
to
after,
November.
So
10 days after the release of the set, here is the secret layer drop.
hopefully get to see the cards and see what's in there. It's kind of cool.
Oh, yeah. We'll have them soon, I'm sure.
What else we got to talk about?
That's it. I think that's it for, Magic.
We got some other card news if you want to jump to that.
Oh, other card game news. That's right, Chris. You got some.
So
interesting
Pokemon
news,
actually just posted that they're bringing back the EX version. So the Sword and Shield block has been entirely V-Star,
V-Stars.
VMAX. And some of the playing base, some of the meta people have really gotten to the point where these Pokemon are way too strong. Like the Arceuses and the Palkias, they're 280 HP and they do 127,000 hits.
Yes, yeah.
So people are they're really enjoying the fact that EX is going to bring it back down to earth a little bit. So it's no longer just my big brute kills your big brute.
Okay.
They're even going to the point where they're making basic Pokemon EXs.
Really?
Whereas in the past, it's only been their
evolutions.
evolutions that have gone to EX. So that's kind of cool that they did that. They really haven't shown anything for it because that's another set away. There's still one more Sword and Shield set before that comes out. But that's something they announced.
Cool.
Lorcana, we talked about it last week.
Here we go.
It's still a year away,
Here we go.
but
The cards are already.
they've shown 7 cards, and those cards have gone astronomical to the moon, if you will. When it comes out how much they are. So D23 was this last weekend. I think you're going to talk a little bit more about that later. But they showed 7 cards. And to what we were talking about last week with, what characters are going to be. Is it going to be like the Disney Channel Hannah Montana, or is it going to be classic cartoons?
Or Pixar or whatever, yeah.
So the 7 cards that they showed us was Mickey as the tailor.
Yeah,
which is
kind
of
really cool.
a really cool idea. Elsa the Snow Queen, Stitch dressed as like a Hawaiian surfer dude.
Yep.
Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians, Maleficent as the dragon. Which I think you called out specifically last week, Sal.
Yeah.
You actually said that she would be a
That's
great
the
card.
deck that you wanted to make.
Yeah, just seeing the card, I was like, this is cool.
And then the other 2 that are on here are Hook. And by far the best card is going to be Robin Hood, the Archer.
The Archer, and it's the classic.
It's the Fox
It's the
version. It's like the
Fox.
1930s Fox.
That's awesome.
Really classic start.
And
Other than Stitch, right? Stitch is like the newest one. And Elsa?
Elsa would be the newest.
The newest, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Elsa and Stitch are from the new
But they
school.
have to do Elsa. That just put the Disney over the top.
We're already able to look at the card and glean that it looks like there's a strength and a power system. They have their keyword system.
Yeah, everybody that I read about on the internet that was reviewing it said that it looked a little bit more heavy than they originally thought it was going to be. That they had power defense, that they had keywords.
Yes.
So I think Mickey is actually Dreamborn. So there's probably going to be different words that actually work with Dreamborn, so you can get a tribal.
Deck building mechanic.
Yeah. Robin Hood is, I believe, Storyborn. So there's definitely little niches, and they're doing heroes and villains. So Mickey's, of course, a hero. Maleficent, of course, a villain. So you could make your villains deck if you really wanted to. But I think the biggest news out of this is how much those cards are worth right now. So D23 was giving away the Mickey promo.
He was a promo.
And they were selling a set of 6 of the Lorcana cards, and I believe the MSRP for that was $50. I think it was $49.99
For the set, yes.
I checked eBay today just to kind of see where it was at. The Mickey promo that was handed out for free to people at D23 is going for approximately $200 to $250.
Unbelievable.
And then the set of 6 sold for $50 at the event, going for almost $2,000.
Yeah.
How much were the packs going for?
It was a set of cards was
It was just a
$50,
set of cards.
$49.99.
And here's the thing: all 7 of these cards are in the first set,
Okay.
which, by the way, is still a year away.
Yeah.
And they're going to be in the first set. It's just that they have a very special little first edition little stamp, and they say D23 as well.
D23 is
I'm
important.
looking at eBay as we speak. They have 3 sealed packs of these trading cards, $150.
Yeah, well, I was going off of completed listings. That's where
Yeah.
I went to.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're.
That's just because you know what you're getting.
Crazy money.
If you know what you're getting. So here's the random factor. So it's probably going to be a little less, but 3 packs for a trading card game that we don't even know anything about.
No.
$50 a pack.
I don't care what it is. It's Disney.
It's Disney.
I'm all aboard.
Yeah.
Sal and I have said multiple times it's all about mechanics.
The mechanics are key, and you know what? And the artwork is fantastic. It's got a
It looks
very
really cool.
drawn, kind of the very nostalgic at the same time, but modern kind of way of drawing them. And to me, that was also the sell. If it was kind of, just screen caps or something, man. This is like their art direction is on point
So
too.
yeah, I know. Like the old Spellfire set from Forgotten Realms D&D. It really was just like they took a die cut
Yeah.
and were popping it out of the player's handbook.
Decipher Star Wars
Yeah.
was like snap screenshot from
the
a
movies,
VHS and like.
So this is original art, which is
It was,
very
it was low-res, too.
which is very
Low-res,
important.
too.
I mean,
Yeah.
what we were just talking about with Games Workshop and Magic, the art is beyond reproach. It's
Yeah.
always amazing.
And it's very Disney. Like,
So amazing that we're just numb to how amazing it always is. Even the mundane land cards are amazing pieces of
Yeah,
artwork.
we only notice when it's bad, when
Yes.
it hardly ever happens.
Which hardly Chaos Warp.
Yeah, it's very.
Oh, is that the one where the like cow thing is jumping into the
No, not
vortex?
that one. He's like turning into bugs or something like that. In the
It's-
new Double Masters, it's like
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's very rare.
I'm thinking
And,
of the last
and the
one.
new Marquesa is like some kind of crazy art design. It looks like something out of like Picasso. It's just really too much for me.
Hopefully, we'll get more information as the year goes on.
But
we'll
here we
see
go.
what
I mean,
get.
we talked about it. You slap Disney on it, boom,
Yeah.
big money.
And they have the money to jump into this market and
Oh, yeah.
see what they want to do, and it should be interesting to see.
Well, I'm wondering, what the only thing again, it's Ravensburger, right? Never done this kind of a game
Yeah,
before.
they've definitely changed their business model. They've definitely gone into the mass market board games with the
Mm-hmm.
Villainous and the Jaws and the Aliens
I
that we
always
still have to
we
play.
don't, and we never knew who they stole. We don't know what person that works on other
Oh,
card
like
games.
development team wise, yeah.
You
that's
never
true.
know who's back there in the end. Like
If they
who,
left Magic, if they left some other game, if they left Flesh and Blood,
know,
if they- who knows where, right?
you never hear those.
You
You
could
never
have like
hear about
three
that,
different
right? Like,
developers from 3 different games making a new game.
Yep.
right?
So it's interesting.
And Ravensburg is putting their money into other gaming things. They actually are funding. They're one of the backers of the new quote unquote board game Kickstarter, which is called GameFound, which actually comes to our last piece of cardboard news is Keyforge. We talked about Keyforge again and how it's being relaunched.
It's back.
But it went on to GameFound, and it's in the process of trying to be funded. They're trying to gauge interest, how many people are going to want to buy decks, how many people are going to play after this long hiatus.
Now is that no longer FFG?
It's no longer FFG. So the original owner, the original designer from FFG, Christian Peterson, he founded a new game company. I had it written down somewhere. Ghost Galaxy is the name of his new company.
Okay.
And then he bought the rights to make Keyforge from FFG. And now they're trying to finance it through this new Kickstarter called GameFound. Just so happens to be attached to Ravensburger.
Okay.
But it's interesting. I mean, it's a little bit weird that they're using these funds to make the algorithm and to
You're
port
paying
over.
for the algorithm for them to develop it. So
Yeah,
it's
so
like,
it's a little bit. It's like, what? How far away is this? If the algorithm's not done yet, how long is it going to take to finish that? How long is it going to take to print it? Are you going to finish the algorithm on budget, or are you going to do that and then not be able to
They're
fulfill
going to
my?
have to have a fantastic, meticulous advertising campaign to get people to put money into that.
I mean, there's a lot of
I
people.
mean,
in
the
the
game has already failed.
There's a lot of people in the Discord that love it, and I loved it when it first came out. I know you bought into it pretty big when it first came
Yeah, the
out.
first 2 sets, I was big time into it.
I think it's a great idea. I like the idea of just picking up a pack.
It's already
no
pre-made.
deck building whatsoever. I like the idea of it being kind of
Which
unique
is what,
to me.
Which was also kind of what forged Jumpstart in Magic. They saw that, and they were like, let's make Jumpstart packs.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this system can work. For me, the biggest problem with Keyforge was the IP. Especially that last set with the fishmen and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was just kind of all over the place.
Well, in this set, they've already said what the new class is. They're going to be the Merchant Compact of the Equidon, spelled Ekwidon.
Okay.
interesting.
Interesting.
I just wonder if it's been so far. Like if you told me that this company Ravensburg was going to kickstart new Destiny. That's probably not a good example because I'd probably go deep into it. But like it's weird. Like if people have been so far away from it long enough where the people that played it and moved on, are you getting them back? You know what I mean? Or diehards will go back, but are you going to get the,
I feel like you got to aim for new. You got to aim for new people. You can't
whole new
aim for
game.
bringing everybody back.
No.
You're going to bring some, but you have to name for new people, and that's where the marketing campaign, I think, Dan is absolutely correct. Maybe Gen Con next year.
It's tough because it's new, but it's the old.
Yes,
like,
you have to. I mean, you have to
it's-
explain to everybody it's a game, but it's a game that already failed. So you have to get them to stop looking at that dumpster fire over there and look over here. That's going to be very hard.
But it wasn't
Especially
the
people
mechanic
were-
that was failed. It was we can't get you
Yes.
it because the algorithm's broken. Like what makes the decks?
Well, that last set mechanically failed a little bit, I think.
It did. It
Yeah.
did as well. So
Well,
that's an issue.
and what once again, not every Magic set is a working set. It doesn't like this set sucks. Like just because we make so many, there's going to be duds here and there.
The
But
interesting thing
it
you-
hurt them more.
That had only been 4. Like, 1 out of 4 is not a good ratio.
It
No,
hurts
it's
them
not.
the most. Yeah.
But you just said something that actually just sparked a new thought into my head. This is a Disney game
For
right?
Lorcana.
for Lorcana.
Yeah.
Right. Lorcana is a Disney game. You just said Destiny, right? Destiny is Star Wars. For those that don't know, it was the card game with the dice
The dice,
functionality. Who owns Star Wars now? Disney.
Disney. Well, yeah.
Who's making a card game right now?
I'm
just saying, I
see
am
where
just-
I see where you're
I
going
see where
with
I'm
this.
going. Come on, come with me.
I want it, but I don't, because I don't want all the other stuff. Like, I don't want to have my Iron Man superhero Marvel deck facing off against my Darth Vader force wielding Star Wars
that's
deck,
if its own, like-
facing off against my Mickey Taylor deck.
Yeah.
I kind of want my
Star Wars in Star Wars.
Yeah, I want Star Wars characters facing Star Wars. I want my Disney characters facing Disney
well, they
characters.
already do it in Villainous. It's the same system, but the Villainous
But-
Dark Side games is a standalone game.
But when we play this the Star Wars Villainous, we're only playing with other Star Wars characters.
Well, maybe they can take this system and just slap Star Wars on it.
Oh, what Lorcana is, you
okay.
mean?
So
Yes.
don't call it Lorcana.
Don't call it Lorcana.
Just
We could-
make it.
Yes.
All right, but then there's toes, right? There's a lot of toes in the world that can get stepped on here. So, like, what do you do? FFG's making a deck builder game. So, do you undercut them and make a collectible game behind them, and then maybe lose sales there? Do you cut?
They don't care.
No, but then like a
They don't
company
care.
like
They
MCP,
made-
like there's
yeah.
card games that are out like that have other companies, and you're just gonna be like, all right, Disney rule the world. I'm all about the
Yeah,
long
but
as the empire.
Champions is a deck builder.
No, but
you
like,
can have a deck builder and a collectible.
do you set? I guess do you make a Marvel version of Lorcana and have it as its set system, but then have rights? I mean, I don't understand why there's exclusive rights anyway. Like Disney should make a game, and if AMG can make a great card game alongside that, or another company has a card game that coincides, cool. I mean, I guess the better game will win, right, in the end. But
I guess we'll find out because right now it's just Disney. Like really, like those are all complete Disney.
there's
properties.
there's no
I mean,
Hannah
what-
Montana, there's no like
I
peripheral.
mean, you can
things.
add Pixar in there, but Disney is Pixar now, right? There's no separation anymore, right?
No.
I don't think
They don't make Disney movies anymore.
Yeah.
It's like the Pixar studios are their animation studios,
Yeah.
and then Lucasfilm makes theirs, Marvel Studios makes theirs, and then it's kind of like there's not even like a Marvel Studios animation division. I bet you if it comes out, it's Marvel Studios is the cartoon.
I'm
for
just saying
X-Men,
we
so-
have a possible path to a collectible Star Wars game. That's all I'm saying.
I'll take it.
If
It's a
Ravenberg doesn't
stretch.
drop the ball,
It's a
let's do
stretch.
it.
I get it, but they already have some Star Wars stuff.
So do we have to restart a clock again? Star Wars card game?
Yes,
Like-
let's restart the
Probably.
clock. Man, we gotta
I-
get. Maybe we should have all those clocks hanging behind.
it's gonna end up looking like
Well, because the squad
Grand-
clock is gone.
Yeah,
we
it would-
broke the squad clock.
It would look like
Grand
Next
Central
week-
Station. There'd be clocks all over
Next
the place.
week during the box opening, I'm going to take a clock and break it.
yeah.
And say that the
It
squad
looked like
clock is
like
officially broken.
NORAD. They probably have all the clocks for like
Yeah,
like
like
time
time zones
times
in
in
Tokyo.
Berlin. Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, so
We should have that.
so very interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm down. If you make the card game and it works and it's cool, like once again, Lorcana is based on that. Got to work.
Yep.
The game's got to be fun.
Well, in
and
the
then-
end, any CCG, it has to work. It has
Has
to
to
work.
work. Yeah.
So we'll
and
see.
you
We'll
have
see.
to, and you have to get the supply, like because once again, Destiny. We love Destiny. It was an awesome game. There was nothing wrong with that mechanic of that game. Couldn't get it in my hand. Like that's. I don't think Disney. I mean, maybe Ravenberger might have that problem. It's not Disney. Disney's not going to be printing it. You know what I mean? Like so. That's always the money's back there, and yeah, you could develop it, but
No,
getting it to us, it seems like the issue for
Hopefully-
everything.
That I'm a little bit less hesitant about because they do mass market. Like they are used to printing large volumes because they're going to
Ravensburger-
Target.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not just going to Dan. They're not making 10,000 copies of a board game because Dan and the other hobby game stores are the only place that sell it. They're making probably
That's-
25,000,
Which
is good.
30,000 because
Which is a concern for me.
because some of them are going to him and then others are going to Target. And
is
yes,
a
maybe
concern
it
for me.
becomes a mass market TCG.
If it's a mass market TCG,
For a small
that
store,
could be
yeah.
concerned unless Ravensburger does the Magic model and the Pokemon model, where only local games LGSs get the booster boxes, and then you get like the bundles.
Probably
And,
because
like,
they want to get into this market, right? So that's the market. What's
They
there?
have- they
Unless they
have
want to
to-
break it.
They have to realize that the game store is going to be where the game is played.
Yeah.
And that's how you're going to grow the fan
Yeah.
base. Like, we're going to buy them because we're Disney fans. If we want to get people that aren't necessarily Disney fans, then the game, they have to have a place to play.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to blow it out of the water, you got to get the gamers like us, and then also the Disney fanboys, fangirls, right? The Disney fans will buy it, not even knowing if it's
No, and
not even having an idea what a trading card game is. They just see Disney and they're buying it.
people are going to collect
Right?
it.
They're
The-
just going to
the
be. I just
living
want to have
shit out of
every
that,
one of
like-
these cards just because. You know, how many people have every Disney lunchbox ever made? How many people have every Disney statue ever made?
Every Christmas ornament.
You have
God.
your family has the Christmas ornaments
shoes,
with
right?
The shoes.
the shoes.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's just one. There's
and that
probably
was my fault. I mean, I made I told my wife, look at these cool shoes. You
now
should
every
collect them."
year.
No,
yeah.
they're gone. Thank God they
stopped?
I gotta say, like Disney, it has like a arc, and then they kind of sometimes they just stop, and it's bookended, and now it's like buku cash.
Yeah.
If you want to get in on it now, you get the bright
Which makes it
idea.
collectible.
Sometimes, not all the time. But yeah. Well, moving on to D23 did have a lot of other news for their other products and stuff. We'll go right into the Star Wars stuff because of me. Tales of the Jedi. Tales of the Jedi.
It's me.
Tales of the Jedi trailer dropped.
Oh my God.
The animated trailer for
Yeah.
I think it's 6 episodes long. It's going to be. I think the main focus is Dooku with Qui-Gon as his Padawan, and then Ahsoka being brought into the Jedi.
Nice little chunk of history that we didn't have.
Cool stuff. Once again, that the animation. You could. Someone put a season the season 1 or that movie episodic version of the first Clone Wars animation, and then they put it up against the Tales of the Jedi trailer animation. And Lucasfilm's animation quality has like quadrupled. I mean, it's amazing what they could do. Looks fantastic. They also we got Mando season 3, man, right there in the Beskar.
Oh my God.
Lot of stuff going on. A lot of that might be a deep dive. We could like we should watch it
I
together.
mean, we're talking about reuniting the Mandalorians. Is what we're talking about here.
Yes, and different Mandalorian philosophies. I think that's the most interesting part. Is Bo-Katan's version versus the Armorer's version. That's not the same Mando's what's in there between their ears.
And she actually comes out and says that it was your cult that broke up Mandalore.
Yes,
she says
yes.
It. That's
So
what
we're gonna
states that,
it's gonna
so,
be.
oh, you might be talking more Mandalore civil
this
civil
season
action.
is gonna be Mandalorian heavy. Like they
Yeah.
show them dropping out of the gauntlet. You know, I mean,
plus the remnants of the Imperials still like
I'm
getting
curious
their
if
hands.
that's gonna if we're gonna see like they love chopping the season up into points like it's heavy this like
and maybe it ends with everything's gonna be great and then the Imperials show up.
or they find out about like Grogu because Grogu's always on the table for his little genetic
And then it wouldn't be
code.
Star Wars if we weren't on Tatooine because we go there at least once.
Oh my God!
Leave the desert planet out of this. Come
I know.
on. But yeah, so
You're making me thirsty. So.
Mando season.
All of us. Look.
Drink.
Drink.
We mentioned Tatooine.
Imagine Tatooine.
This is really expensive on Tatooine, by the way.
Oh my good, a RSG drinking game. Every
RSG
time we say
drinking game. Every
Tatooine.
time. Well, you just did it again. Would you
Cantina.
stop? Come on now.
Drink water.
Anyway,
stay hydrated.
Mando,
That's what this is. This is water.
Yeah, Mando season 3 looks awesome.
Malibu Bakeries.
Very interesting. Bringing it back.
Bringing it back.
Indiana Jones movie.
Oh my.
Harrison
my
Ford was
goodness.
on stage. Well, we didn't see the trailer. They saw it there. He was visibly shaken and emotional, which is totally Harrison
Uncharacteristic.
Ford.
That guy
Uncharacteristic.
might be in a robot most times, but yeah, he looked like he was like super touched.
He was crying. Like he almost was brought to tears.
Maybe he truly likes that character.
Well, I think there's a few things we're talking here. It's Indiana Jones, right? I think he was very, very, actors are very about the story. And like, it's a human story. He got very emotional when he was talking about the relationships and who's, how the story is. It's not just about the action. But he's declared that this is his last movie. He's pretty much retiring after this movie.
From filmmaking.
Mm-hmm. So Indy's going to be his last role.
Okay.
Everybody said, Tom Brady said that, and look where he's playing.
Yeah.
But but I think that was maybe that in his brain too, getting on stage for me for the last time and talking about an iconic character that he is, brought it to, a little bit of tear, but still interesting to see.
Now, do we have a timeline? Is this
I don't
before?
know.
Is this after? Because I got to be honest, there's a lot of people who don't even know that the Crystal Skull was an Indiana Jones movie.
And they should keep it that way.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's the point.
And they should keep it that way.
I'm seeing it on the internet, and I don't know if they're being sarcastic or if that is just their way of.
I don't know where they're gonna push. I mean, Shia LaBeouf's not coming back as his stepson, whoever it was.
Yeah. It was. It was his son.
It was his.
It was
yeah,
his
no,
son.
it was. He
Yeah, it
wasn't.
was his
Yeah,
son,
sure.
yeah.
He was his first.
Oh, spoiler alert! If you haven't watched Crystal Skull,
Go
sorry.
watch Crystal Skull.
I apologize.
Don't bother.
Don't bother.
But once again, that was set post World War II, right? There was the
Yes.
communists
Yeah.
there.
It was like the 50s. It was like
they set the bomb off. Remember
the big red scare.
It's gonna have to be after that, or it's gonna have to be at least be after the original trilogy
Because of his age?
His age.
His
You can't
age.
get around that.
So we're pushing towards the modern era, maybe the
It might
80s.
be-
You know, if you look
80s, I think it'll be too long. I think we'll probably look at because Skull was basically 50s with the big red
50s,
scare.
so it's got to be probably
60s,
Vietnam,
70s
60s
at most.
early 60s.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf swinging through the jungle
Yeah.
in his leather greaser jacket.
Yeah, that,
Yeah.
Don't
with the
bother.
grease, with the
Don't-
hair and
don't
the
do
comb and
Anyway, Indiana Jones, it's coming. Harrison Ford looks like he's gonna probably kill Indiana Jones, which is how he's kind of done his arc with after Han Solo. He wanted Han Solo dead in Return of the Jedi, and Lucas is like, sorry, no.
They better go back to the big warehouse and get the Ark out of the warehouse. That's what I want to see. I want to see.
you want to see him win an epic battle with
I
the
mean,
Ark in the front of his army.
We don't want to go there because Crystal Skull, wasn't good, but they technically fought in that warehouse.
Yeah.
They were jumping on all
Yeah,
those
it was.
crates.
You
I
see
mean,
it. You see
when
when they leave and all the boxes get wrecked or whatever.
just
You see
saying.
it open and you actually hear that.
That's how
like that.
forgettable it was
Yeah,
that
that-
they were there. Anyway. Another trailer they did show. We got a full trailer for Willow. For most people that don't know about Willow, was
Stupid Daikini.
stupid Daikini. Mad Mardigan. That's George Lucas's really only for a foray into the fantasy realm of his movies.
If you haven't watched, please do. I know it might be a little hard to watch, but definitely watch it.
Yes,
The original Willow.
definitly.
I mean, it has Val Kilmer in it. All right, his
Val
little
was
dude.
awesome. Mad
And
Mardigan
Mad
was
Mardigan
like
was great.
definitely a anti-hero
Yeah.
hero.
Mhm.
Well done.
The Pixies or Brownies? Brownies or
think they
Pixies?
were
they
brownies.
Brownies? They
Yeah.
called them Brownies, right?
Yeah, and Willow's not a halfling. He's a
Peck.
well, they call him
Out of the way, Peck.
stupid Daikini.
Well,
So
Daikinis were humans.
They
right?
had they had all their terminology. Good movie. Willow. The new obviously Willow's taking
This actually looks
modern CGI.
almost Lord of the Rings level.
big
of
production.
Yeah,
This
big
is a
production.
Disney Plus series, right? This is not a movie; it's a series.
I think it's a series.
Yeah,
Series,
It's going
yeah.
like 6 episodes.
Probably.
Which I prefer.
I want-
I
think-
wanted with something like this because they won't take the chance in the big the big movie
I just
theater
have
with that kind of money.
I have a
like this
problem with
better.
6. I think 8's the sweet number. I think 6 is like
How long are the episodes?
So you know what the sweet number is? 12 for Andor. It's coming.
Yes.
Well, how long are the Andor episodes though?
I don't think they've said. I'm hoping
Because that's
somewhere
what I
between
need to hear.
30
I need
and an
that
hour.
that
Well,
number is a combination of
they-
length of the show and the number.
They said Obi-Wan was supposed to be an hour. They were 45 minutes tops.
Well,
I
the
mean,
last
they clocked
two-
on with it was 10, almost 5 minutes of trailers.
Yeah.
Ate up.
The last
credits.
two went over an hour,
credits.
all right? Didn't the last two go over an hour?
The last one was definitely an hour.
Yeah.
The end. Well, yeah. Just give
Yeah.
me, Andor's multiple seasons, so we don't gotta worry. They also, on the Marvel side of it, they did the Secret Invasion. Got a trailer with the Skrulls are have crept into. I'm assuming it's a faction of Skrulls because
Because the other faction of Skrulls
Yeah.
are good.
Mendelsohn,
Yeah.
who is AKA
Ben Mendelsohn.
Krendog.
Yeah.
His character seems like they're working with Shield.
Yeah, they're refugees.
Yeah.
I definitely like the old man Fury look.
Oh, he
like
looks
he's got
Oh,
like
yeah,
the,
yeah,
the-
yeah, I like
the
that.
crazy grizzled
Yeah, I
I
beard.
like that.
And
You know what he looks like? A slimmed down Timbo.
Kimbo Slice.
Kimbo
Kimbo
Slice. Yeah, I say
Slice,
Timbo Slice because we got a guy in the hey,
Timbo.
Timbo Slice. What's up, bro?
Um,
Kimbo. Yeah, he looks like Kimbo
Yeah,
Slice.
he looks badass. I gotta
just,
say.
just slimmed down though, with that big beard and stuff.
But that whole
both eyes though, 2 eyes though again.
He's-
Did he get his eye back? Is that what was going on? I didn't see the patch. I
He
don't remember
brings
seeing-
the patch back at the end of the trailer. He's got it on. He's got like
Okay.
the milky white
Oh, okay, he did the Milky Way.
with
now.
the
Okay,
scar.
I just didn't catch it. I was so excited to watch
that
the other stuff.
crazy cat.
That the cat got.
But
That's
it's,
not a cat.
It's really interesting to see what this movie is. And once again, I date myself. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. You never know who's who,
Mhm.
and there's gonna
Oh,
be
you
that,
mean like doppelganger Sal?
don't even talk about doppelganger. And I never have ever ruthlessly murdered an NPC more than worrying about
I think
doppelgangers.
it's episode 1 or 2 when we
Jesus
talk about the
Christmas.
doppelganger. You can see how you can make people paranoid with shape changes.
Did-
Let's just put it that way.
But Skrulls are the Marvel's way of making everybody paranoid. So, definitely gonna be interesting to see where this is gonna go. I mean, I remember from the comic arc, they had killed off so many superheroes back in the day in the comics.
Oh
and
yeah,
they
there
were
was
able.
a period where everybody was dying.
Well, and then in that comic arc, it was either Secret Invasion, Secret Wars. I forgot it wasn't Secret Wars, but they all the Skrulls had taken all those heroes and they were off deep in space and they were impersonating Captain America, who had died in the comics.
Iron Man.
And then the heroes come back, and then everybody's like, "Wait, what a minute! Like, there's 2 of you, and you find out they've
and
been
who's-
Skrull this whole time."
Spider-Man meme, like everybody's pointing at each
So
other.
wait till are we gonna find out that like some heroes that we know now were Skrulls? You know, what I mean, the whole time.
Like the Tony Stark Iron Man that died. Maybe he was a
Yeah,
Skrull.
Robert Downey Jr. was a Skrull.
That
all
that
along.
guy
now
gets
that's
the
the way-
Academy
they get-
Award
yeah.
for holding Skrull in when
And
he's
then-
fried
yeah.
like that. You get the MC.
I'm just saying,
MCU's
there's a way to bring him back, right? I mean, we are talking Marvel. So.
Yeah. Well, aside from multiversing, there's always been back.
Yeah.
So they and then the last one, I mean, they did some other announcements, but that was interesting. The Thunderbolts cast, they showed a kind of artwork of everyone that's going to be in it.
It's like a really super teaser, though, right? The Thunderbolts.
Yeah, it was just
a picture.
artwork.
Oh, just artwork.
You know,
It wasn't even their real visage; it was artwork.
So I did that was kind of cool. They had like the anti-heroes, the kind of Suicide Squad of Marvel in that sense. I'm a little pissed because I mean I want Red Hulk. And what's his name that just
William
died?
Hurt unfortunately passed
away.
Yeah. That kills me. He was the general that was on Ark.
He's also the Thunderbolt. Like he's Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah. So not having him, Louise Dreyfus is going to be that supplanted role. She's going to be basically Hurt's place. But I really wanted Red Hulk. I think Red Hulk is like
with that actor too, though.
It might show up.
He could do it still. It's still very. So I mean, She-Hulk's been really fun. But
yeah, she's going to end up being like the Amanda Waller. From Suicide Squad
pretty much
to the Thunderbolts.
They exist the misfits or the people that the villains or the anti-heroes and put them together. But yeah, I mean D23 had a lot of stuff. People would say it was a little lackluster in some sense. They didn't mention anything about Fantastic Four. They said Kevin Feige's
Marvel already did a big reveal, so I mean how much more do you want?
Star Wars Celebration did a big reveal too. Yeah. So I mean, it's weird that like you give stuff and then D23 is very exclusive for Disney people, and then like. But they got a bunch of other stuff, so I guess you can kind of water everything down.
Like the entire last day was all about the parks. Like they're putting 3 new parks to Magic Kingdom.
Oh,
which doesn't matter to a lot of people,
but that's
huge.
New
rides.
It's a Disney event. It's not a Marvel event.
Yeah, Marvel's getting another ride out of Edge of Campus in California.
Disney Villains is getting a whole land at Magic Kingdom. It's wild.
It's gonna be crazy. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see. I like the idea of Thunderbolts, and I'm curious where it's going to go. And then they also, Loki season 2. We know all the other ones.
All the other Marvel stuff that we knew.
They didn't announce. I heard the Quantum, the Ant-Man and the Wasp. Supposedly they showed a lot of Kang material. Okay. A lot of. It looked awesome. They said once again. Those exclusive trailers we didn't see.
Yeah. Well, we need the new big baddie anyway. Yeah. So that's him.
Yeah. But speaking of some new big baddies in Marvel, we didn't get to discuss a while back. They did spoil that for an MCP. They're coming out with Sentinels as a faction.
Yes.
And they did spoil their cards. I don't play MCP, and I look at those cards and I don't know what's going on. Yeah. But I did watch a battle report. Some of the guys on the internet 3D printed some quick Sentinels because they have the cards and they put them in play, and they were pretty happy at how they played. Once I always go back to GW having giants,
cool, like having the knights.
Yeah, and knights and giants having these like large footprint models, and that's your whole army.
And it's a whole faction too. It's not just.
It's like they have their keywords, like the.
It's not just like the Dormammu where you're fighting the boss. It's a faction.
No, they're a playable faction. They can be able to brawl with everyone. So really,
and I've already seen some of them. They're huge.
Yeah, they're this
tremendous,
big.
And that adds to the element of that game because to me the most fun part about that game is picking up cars and buildings and hitting people with them.
And just them walking down a city street that you see street signs and you see street lights,
cars and stuff. You can be
dumpsters.
You can be Hulk. Grabbing Loki and smashing him around.
I could set a dumpster on fire.
Yes, you can. There's actually a couple of guys in the store have made that, the dumpster fire terrain.
It's cool.
I'm kind of curious if the Sentinels might be able to pick up the large buildings. So like the Sanctum Sanctorum is
the number
level 3, I think, or level 4.
Yeah.
But right now I don't think anything can actually pick it up. I wonder if the Sentinels will be able to pick up those larger buildings.
That's going to hurt.
Right now, like the Hulk can pick up like the big, the newsstand and stuff like that, but not the gigantic building.
What's the ship called? The Jump Jet or the
Quinjet?
The Quinjet. They could pick up one of those.
Oh my God, that'd be awesome.
We're actually planning in store, by the way. Our buddy Will and Mike, the Nerd Cap, will be.
They're going to do a tournament.
We're planning an in-store tournament. We're hoping to get about 20 people. We have a couple dates. We're about to solidify it. We'll announce it on the Discord, of course.
Cool.
We're going to have an OP kit and some prize support for it, too, as well.
I actually have 2 posters from a previous Comic-Con. They're small little posters. I'll throw them in there.
Throw it in the goodie bags.
Whenever I go to Comic-Con, all that free stuff, man, you don't realize you walk past tables and it's like, oh, Marvel booth, they give away everything for free. I got two little cool posters. I'll throw that in there. It's awesome.
That with the OP kits and maybe even some 3D printed trophies and whatnot. I thought would be cool. Or maybe 3D printed terrain as a piece. That would be nice because they love their terrain as well.
Yes.
Because it's so pivotal. It's like in GW, it's cool. It's there, but it's not always as pivotal as whereas this game because you build a piece of terrain.
And you
because
interact
you want
with
to throw
it,
it,
like,
at
right?
somebody.
So
You want to
interact
throw
with
it
it,
at somebody. You know,
and it's
so-
very specific. Like throwing them into like GW
Yeah.
terrain looks weird, but like when you're in a downtown city environment,
Yeah, you can put down cars, like you said, dumpsters, the
that's really cool.
newsstands, the buildings. You know, whatever you want to do.
I like the Sentinels. I always thought that was a cool. I mean, now that, but they've also they're getting more X-Men out, so I really feel you're gonna have that X-Men brawl with the Sentinels and be
Which
very.
is
It's gonna feel like a '90s cartoon.
well, dude. They are trying. The boys, Will and they saw me. Well, they saw me playing something else, which we're about to talk about
Yes.
in a second. They saw me playing that other thing, and they were like, "Well, damn, when are you going to start playing Marvel MCP with us?" Blah blah blah. And I says, "I'm really being tempted because I'm an X-Men guy. I'm an old, like 90s, like
Which-
90s X-Men
Which
cartoon."
X-Men was on the D23.
Yeah, exactly. So what are you doing? That's stuck in my head now.
The D23, by the way, not to cut you short,
Yeah.
they did announce they showed more of the X-Men
X-Men stuff,
cartoon
yeah.
that they're redoing in that same
In that
animation
same theme.
fashion. But go ahead.
Fantastic. So, with all the X-Men coming, I'm seriously. I've actually been squirreling away
They're almost
every
all out.
X-Men as it comes.
Are
Well, you'll
all-
never have them all out, but yeah, we got Cyclops is out there.
Storm-
Storm is definitely out
Jean
there.
Grey,
Beast, Jean
Wolverine,
Grey,
Colossus.
Toad, Magneto, the
Yeah,
Juggernaut.
the Juggernaut, all the
Colossus is out.
all the evil mutants are out.
I think Jubilee was announced, if I recall. So she was from the '90s
90s
TV,
TV show.
Gambit.
Gambit, I think
No.
Gambit is out.
Is he out?
Rogue is
Gambit?
out.
Yes, Gambit and Rogue are out. Yeah.
Interesting.
They're actually
Is
together.
there a Wolverine yet?
Mr. Sinister's out. Wolverine.
Well,
There's one, at least one, if not
Okay.
two different
Two,
types of
yeah.
Wolverine.
Sabretooth.
Interesting.
Oh,
Yeah, basically all.
Who's your
it's good.
Who's your favorite X-Men?
the Prof.
The Prof. I'm in a chair. I'm bald. I love Charles Xavier is probably my favorite.
Interesting.
Probably my favorite. Other than that, I actually might go Bishop. I like Bishop. And then Cable too. I like the Cable. I mean, it's just like
Oh yeah, Cable's another one that's
Cable's
out.
another
Cable,
one
I
that's
know, I've
out.
seen him,
Cable's
yes.
out. I love Cable
I always
because
liked,
I don't want to give any spoilers who his parents are, but you know.
I always liked Cyclops. When I was a kid, I'm talking like old comics.
Yeah.
So I used to look at the covers. I always thought Cyclops was just like there's some fantastic old covers.
Well,
of
I mean,
like,
Wolverine. I mean, it's just hard. It's really hard to pick
I
a
like
favorite.
Beast.
If you're gonna force me in a corner, if he's gonna force me in a corner,
Kelsey
it's
Grammer,
probably gonna
1990s
be.
Beast.
Oh my God, yeah. If you're gonna force me in a corner, it's probably the Charles.
Professor?
It's probably the Professor. If not, Cyclops, Wolverine, Cable, Bishop, and the list goes on from there.
And every other one of the X-Men that you
I
know.
mean, just X-Men are cool. I just love the X-Men.
Well, keep
Because it's
Discord for the
superheroes.
tournament news.
It's superheroes with one power, basically, right? So you can just really kind of make them all go at it.
Speaking of tournament news, don't we have a Legion tournament come up too, right? Or an
Tournament.
event?
Our favorite American Canadian,
Yes.
Graham.
Not so much a tournament. They went
Yeah.
and run the OP kits.
He wants to start, and I agree with him. It's not heavily played in the store yet, and it was the point of entry was a little difficult with the humongous boxes.
The gigantic
It's a lot of money to get started.
Well, yeah. But
So
you didn't
these
really
new
get
battle-
enough in that. Those core boxes were like classic core boxes.
Yes.
You didn't really get enough to make a skirmish level
Yes.
army.
They were
got
they were expensive enough to not make that experience worth it, but
Yeah.
they were not big enough to make it a really full-fledged experience because
Yeah.
it would have been like a $300 core set.
Yeah. Well,
And they were a board game company at the time, so that was
Well, they listened, and they're coming up with more faction-specific boxes.
Yeah,
These
starting battle forces that you buy the battle force that's about skirmish levels, about 400
Yeah.
points.
Yeah, and it's
And
just
boom.
one faction, and then that's it. You're good. So
Yeah.
it's a better point of entry. You're not buying because that two-player starter box is like, well, I don't like the Imperials.
Yeah,
I don't
me
like
and Chris
I don't like
split,
the
and I got
droids.
clones. You got your droids,
Yeah.
but like it still
That
wasn't
doesn't
enough
always-
to field.
we ended
Also
up
doesn't
having to
always
buy
work for
2 or
everybody.
3 core kits to like get the adequate
That's a
number
lot
of stuff
that's
that
a
we
lot
wanted.
of money.
Yeah.
I mean, when
Yeah,
we were
yeah.
splitting them, so I
Yeah.
mean, like we
you
split
guys
2 core
you guys are
kits.
Star Wars heads, right? You'll make that expenditure, but someone who's on the fringe is like,
Yeah.
that's it's a lot.
Yeah.
So these new
I
boxes
will
are a
say
better
Legion
point of entry.
is way more affordable than GW.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole nother-
in a miniatures
yeah.
game, that's a whole different animal.
Yeah.
But yeah, those the OP kit that they came out with is actually 2 forces. One's offense, one's on defense, and one's trying to go in and steal plans.
Yeah.
So there's going to be
It's very thematic. Yeah.
very thematic. Which
So it lends to what Graham wants to do, which is just like get people introduced to the game.
yes.
And we're planning on doing it in October in the store because by then the store should have
All the
these
battle forces.
on the shelf. So you experience it, maybe get some people buying it even beforehand. Then you have a little event, and then that's,
I got my,
that's
so
purchasing.
We have until October to build the Battle of Scarif, like the buller with the big the
Oh my-
citadel
oh
in the
my-
middle.
Oh my goodness, he's already going crazy. What are you doing? Killing me.
Hey, we got a 3D printer, right?
We do have a 3D printer. We're gonna have to make the
Palm
Scarif Tower.
trees for days.
Palm trees and the Scarif Tower.
Yeah.
Little satellite dish on the top. We can make this work.
I made a 400 and a 500 point list. You got to make like ones for like the attackers, ones for the defenders.
Defender.
I already got my pretty much Imperials are pretty much have to build like I think a unit of sand troopers.
I wish we could just. I wish they had the. I don't think you can do it yet. As a full Mandalorian force. I think
They're close.
It's coming.
It's coming, right?
Gar Saxon. If you take Gar Saxon, you could field. He lets you take a bunch of super commandos, which are pretty much
true, yeah.
They're gonna need core because they don't have. There's no Mandalorian core.
Okay,
No.
that's a
But
problem.
No.
you could
Who could
beef
use
up a
who
pretty
could use a
big-
plant for the core if you were going to do it?
So they have the Black Sun Enforcers
Okay.
and the Pike Syndicates.
That's right.
Those
Yeah,
are core
okay.
troops in the
Okay.
syndicate. And then, but they did. Speaking of Legion, they just spoiled all the Dinjarin and the Child's cards for Legion. And
He
from
actually
what I've
has
seen, the
two-
power creep, they're beefy. He's going to be a beast on the battlefield.
And he has
So
two little
he could either
two
be
little Grogus, right?
he could be either on. I don't know. Graham, let me know when I see you. He could be either be on the base with him, or he could
Or they
be-
can split.
or they could split. So I don't know. I mean, there's the potential a little Grogu walking
around on,
just like force throwing.
and one of them
people.
doesn't one of them have like the toad in his mouth?
Frog in mouth, force
Yeah.
throwing
Yeah.
snowtroopers out of the way.
I am sign me up for that.
Yes. Oh, and then on a quick note, they also did D23 announced that the Mando and the Child will be walking around Star Wars Galaxy's
They
Edge.
did. They
in
showed a
parks.
brief. Yeah,
And the Child's like animated and moving and looking
it looked
around.
pretty good. It looked pretty good. Yeah.
That's cool. So,
All right, so
but speaking of Star Wars, Dan,
Dun, dun, dun.
dun, dun, dun.
someone returned to play X-Wing.
I scratched or chafed off all the rust on my Scum and Villainy ships, and I got on the table. And to get on the table and get this new rule set down, because I haven't really played since 2.0.
You haven't played since we played on TTS during the
TTS
pandemic.
during the pandemic, but I did jump on the table once.
Oh, you
I got
did
the,
get your Bro Brothers.
I got the Brobots out.
Brobots.
Joey and Vinny from Staten Island
Oh
were
my
out.
God.
Joey and Vinny Brobots were out for a little while, but that was still 2.0. So we've had 2.5, then we had the 2.576436, whatever it
It's
is.
like a WoW patch.
All
Like
right.
every time I'm like, what patch? I'm 9.2.
It was
It's
a little.
Tuesday, new X-wing rules.
Yeah.
There was a little dark moment
my God.
in the rules of X-Wing. I like to think of it, at least they're listening. So they dropped the 2.5, and people were not happy. And within a couple months, they listened.
Points changes helped the game so
Yeah,
much.
they made changes. So it's reinvigorated people with these updated changes, and people are back on the table. We're having big events again. Our buddy Toff, as we spoke about last week, came in second place at the was it at Nova?
Yeah, Nova
At
Open.
Nova Open. He finished in second place. He is probably one of the best X-Wing players.
Still not first.
First place in our hearts, Toph. Don't listen to these
First
guys.
place in our
Tell
hearts.
Baron, first place in our hearts.
He is the leader of K-Toff's Filthy Cheaters. I mean, K-Toff's Filthy Casuals.
KFC.
Filthy KFC.
Definitely,
I cou-
K-Toff definitely melts dice.
Yes, he does. He
He-
melted. That's
We're
why
gonna-
he's killed
yeah.
Filthy Cheaters. You had to see the freaking nothing but paint.
When he
Paint
comes,
all day.
when he comes, we're going to talk about his deal with Satan. But we'll
Yeah,
get there.
we'll get into that and how he has sold his soul to the dice gods.
But
Well,
you got to
have
play.
Have you
Yeah,
actually
I
mentioned that he's coming next week, right?
He's coming next week. We were playing, and that's why I wanted to play with him. The guy's experience is almost beyond reproach as for how well he knows the game, and he loves the game. And Toph, once you meet him and you see him, if you don't know him already, his personality is fantastic. He's really, really fun to play with. Easy to learn. He's a great teacher.
It's the man.
He got me on the table. I know how to play X-Wing. I'm not saying I'm the best or anything like that, but I do know the rules. 2.0, I knew how to fly, so I just needed the changes. And the scenarios are a big change, but there are a lot of other changes that I literally found out the hard way.
What did you like about the scenarios? Did you or did you not like the scenarios?
The first we actually did. We didn't even play one full game. We actually played a couple games.
You started the one with just a scenario in the middle, which is pretty much a dogfight.
He goes, let's play with the one scenario. We just basically went through the gambit. Just get you rough. What that one was good for was to get me down on the new rules, especially with obstacles. Asteroids are deadly.
They all
my-
obstacles suck now. They were
but
semi-suck.
asteroids, you are taking damage.
Yeah,
There's no roll. I mean, there is a roll.
And you
On
roll
top
for
of
more
that, You
damage.
could take two.
Yeah.
It was bad. I'm switching all my rocks to small. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what we're doing there. Then there's the gas cloud, which
Gas
changed.
guns give you ion now.
It
So
was- I mean, a lot of changes. So I got all those down and kind of shook the rust
How
off.
about
me
setting the
operating
dials?
my dials,
and
and
then
rolling
to
the
see who
dice,
goes, yeah.
which was hard for me to adjust to,
Yeah, it's
but I
hard to-
did. But you know what? At first, I didn't like it.
Oh, but once you play it, it's
But
just-
once I played it, I'm like, you know what? This has just added a whole nother layer. Like we were in like a round 3 of a game, and I was like, all right, he's gonna go for. Oh wait, no, we don't know when he's.
we
gonna
don't
go.
know when he's gonna go.
I don't know when he's gonna go, and I'm trying to set my dial. And on top of that, if you don't know my deficiency in X-wing, if a ship is facing me, I actually have to turn around. I
This
can
is-
turn
this
around
is Dan.
backwards like this
Okay,
to look.
I'm
at,
going this way.
I'm going
Let
this
me get
way.
my dial.
Then I kind of cut. It's terrible, but that coupled with the fact that it was the road rules were in there, it was a difficult choice, but it was fun.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
A little more
So-
fog of war, a little more, you
Yeah.
know what, I'm just going to go for it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, kind of move sometimes. So,
So he made a couple builds for me because I was rusty, and it was also a ship that I haven't flown yet, the new road class.
yes.
I hadn't flown it yet, which was fantastic. I actually had Cad Bane in the ship, which was great.
Cool. The Scum version.
The Scum version.
'Cause he's a
And then he
separatist
showed me
also.
Scum may have almost the most force available to it. It might even have more force, other than maybe, not
The Rebels?
no.
Imperials?
It's got more than Rebels. It's got more than Imperials. It's
Oh, then the Republic?
Republic. That's right.
There's a lot of Jedi there.
There's a lot of Jedi there. So other than Republic, Scum might actually have the most force abilities in it now. Went from having none to I got Ahsoka Tano on there. I got Savage Opress on there, and
It's pronounced Savage.
Savage. Oh, I'm sorry. Savage.
That means drink time, gentlemen.
Wait, that's that a drink?
Savage.
All right, we got a drink. Hold on, with the pinky up to
Hydrate for Savage.
hydrate for Savage. And then there was also Maul.
Yeah.
So I
There's
have
even the child.
and
You
it,
can throw that
it's even
little
yeah,
green
that's another.
gaster on there, too.
I haven't even flown that yet. So I'm changing things all over the place. I'm like, this is fantastic. Oh my god, I felt OP for a little while, but then I realized I was playing tough. And when you play tough, I have my full. My soul has been attuned specifically to 6-sided dice. Right, everybody knows that
Not
I am
8-sided dice.
not 8-sided dice. I can channel my positive die rolling skills on other sides of dice, like 10s and 20s and so on and so forth, and 8s for that matter. But Todd has made a deal with the unholy one. Okay, because he
It's
just rolls,
paint all the time.
It's paint all day. It's like Benjamin Moore. All right, it's just paint all day, every
Sherwin
day.
Williams.
Sherman Williams all day, all day. It was amazing.
We ain't talking Valspar. We're going high quality.
We're going high quality.
We're going, yeah.
High quality,
Home
premium,
Depot, no, we're going
one
right-
coat cover. He will blow you up on one roll.
That's
Like,
awesome.
You don't even need re-rolls. Or what. It was amazing.
That's awesome.
But we had a blast. As for the other scenarios, there's ones where you have to actually move up, take an action to grab it, and then hold it.
Yep,
And as
salvage.
you're flying, and if you get hit, there's a chance you could drop it, which I thought was really cool. Then the other one was like a domination kind of thing where the point doesn't move.
But you
But you
turn
kinda,
on or
you
off
gotta,
to
you gotta like it reminded me of like one of the WoW battlegrounds.
It's like capture the flag. Not capture the
Not
flag.
capture the flag. It was it what the hell is
Arati
that?
Basin.
No, not Arati Basin. Is it
Where
Arati Basin? Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You hold the blacksmith.
you hold the
You
blacksmith,
hold the
yeah.
lumber mill.
So if you hold a point, you get a point at the end of the round.
That's a WoW reference for all you.
That is a
World
World
of
of
Warcraft.
Warcraft reference. But the other thing was you cannot score in the first round,
Yeah, which
which I think was a good thing.
which is a brand new change because I guess the fast ships were able to go out, be able to score really
Very
early.
deep.
and
Like
they
you
could
get a
catch up.
cheap couple points early.
Yeah.
5
forward boost
yeah.
was like a nightmare. Like
Yeah. And then there are times when you have to make a decision. I mean, here we have an engagement coming up, right? We're in the middle of the board. There's points here. Do we engage? Do I engage or do I take the point?
Yeah,
And
do you
then
take
that's where
do you take that focus or do I take that?
because you're taking an action to take the point, but then if it's one of the ones where you got to carry it,
Yep.
you got hit, you might get dropped, and then you
Force
wasted
is
your
powerful because
and
it's
then
there for you when
you
you need to
wasted your
modify.
action. It's like, oh my god! So there was a lot, which is good though. This is all depth of play, so I'm fine with this.
It makes flight pilot skill that much more important
Oh,
because if
huge.
you have a high pilot skill, if I use an action to take that point, if your pilot skill is higher, you can take an action and take it away from
Take
me.
it away from you. Yeah.
It's like I've now wasted my action.
Yep.
You're going to get the benefit, and I've wasted my action. So
Yeah.
it's,
And then more ships lend to a better. I had the first list he had actually thrown at me was Royal Class Starfighter, a fire spray, and 2 interceptors. The M3As, the Sikhs or Six, whatever, however you want to pronounce it. You know how the Sikhs are though; they pop if you look at them the wrong
got
way,
that 5
especially with Toph's dice. He literally just took like, oh, it's a range 3 shot, but it was trick shot with Fat Han, and it was like quick crit hit. I'm like, quick crit hit. It was. Are you kidding me? And I got to roll 5 green dice, but we all know green dice are trash.
Yeah, they're not.
What do I roll? I rolled 4 blanks. I rolled 4 blanks and a focus, and I
out.
didn't have a focus. Boop. And he just starts giggling like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." He blew the
he
freaking
says
thing
sorry,
out.
but he
He
doesn't
says
mean
sorry.
it.
He don't
He
mean
says
it
it.
because
He
he's
doesn't mean it.
cackling as he's saying it. Well, you'll see. You'll see when he's on the show next time.
That's funny.
But in any case, I had a blast.
And it gives you a secondary win condition.
Yes.
It's not just about like that dog fight. Like back in the day, looking at it from that point of view, it was the game.
Yep.
But now you have that ability, like, oh wow, like all right, I got these extra points. That I have another win scenario
Yeah.
based on just I can't take that ship out. What am I gonna do?
You can also build up some points, and then take a risk later because
Yep.
you know you had a bit of a lead, and then still all right. And or if you get a ship gets popped early, you can kind of fall back. Maybe he's out of position because he took that shot. And then you can move up, even though you might have taken some damage, claim the point and get those points back because he didn't blow you up. And then half points are only available in the first mission.
Certain scenarios.
Yeah, so
they're
half
not-
points are gone.
Yeah.
It's only one. As far as I mean, I might be mistaken.
might
I
have
think
been-
it's just that one scenario.
You know what's good about it too? The new point threshold. It's easier looking across the board and going that ship's 7. Whereas it was he's 34, half of that. Like now you
He's
know
7, he's 5, he's
like,
9.
You know when you blow up, when you take in enough points and like you're at say 5 points, you know that's about a ship's worth of cost. So now it's easy to calculate on the fly what my opponent has, and I'm not doing like that's a 78-point ship and I
Yeah,
gotta
because
get half.
because all the upgrades are on a second point system, which are you don't have to worry about.
They're not even part of the scoring system.
No,
So
I mean they are incorporated into the base cost of the ship.
yeah, that's their
But the
loadout
base
cost.
Yeah, but the base cost number is a lot easier to calculate.
Yeah.
You see the ship and that ship is this many points. It's just a matter of what pilot.
From the business standpoint, what AMG did, I thought the only thing that hurt them in sales was they made the generics not worth as much. And,
Yes.
like, why would you take a 3-point
They're actually
ship?
the same points.
Now
on
you
some
take
of them.
a 3-point ship that's named with an ability and it has more loadout points than the generic.
Those
But
White Wings, dude.
I always felt though that hurt them because I used to go out and buy the 5, 6 of the same ship to fly that generic
spam
list.
list, yeah.
Spam list.
8 TIE fighters.
Yeah, I mean, you can still do 8 TIE fighters, a lot of them named, but like the Y wings, like you could like do a whole I think you can still do it, but there was some ships you could spam more. TIE Brutes, a perfect example. I could spam the generics, even though they still suck. But like I think like you don't buy as many ships as you
It's
do
true.
because now you're like, but you could fly more ships. So more lists are 4 and 5 ship lists than they have ever been before. So
The overall health of the game, I think they realize, is more important
yes,
than selling a couple more ships.
yeah,
Right. Because if the game's not fun, they're gonna stop playing. They're not gonna buy any ships.
yeah, true.
So I from what I'm seeing, now this is coming from somebody who has not played as much as Toph without a doubt, and he's a hardcore fan. He stuck through it, like when the store went from 20 people playing to 5 people playing. Toph was one of the 5, still figuring it out, still going to events, stuck through it, got the rules changes, and look what he did.
Yeah,
Second place at one of the
Nova.
big spots, which was like a
all eyes were on
world
you.
caliber competition in
Yeah,
the
and
X-Wing community.
he won an invitation to Worlds.
Yes.
So that's
So,
awesome.
Fantastic. We'll get more info on that when we actually have him on the show. We can pick his brain.
Well, I'm glad you had fun.
Yeah, I had fun, and I actually told him that I'm going to get revenge by asking him some very uncomfortable questions.
Oh, the tough questions.
Yeah, the tough personal questions.
Well, I also
about,
heard that Grievous is on deck
Grievous is waiting.
whenever you're ready to deal with Grievous.
yeah,
He's,
Grievous is always ready to get blown up. I have no problem with that.
Wow. Wow.
I have no problem blowing up Grievous all day, every day.
Grievous is waiting.
Yeah,
Well,
that's why. By the way,
He's in my locker at RSG waiting for
our buddy Chris recently celebrated a birthday, and Sal and I were trying to find him a gift, and Sal was like, "Hey Dan, I got a great idea. We're gonna buy him this I was like, "No, no,
we got
I'm
Grievous.
opposed.
Don't worry, we got
Well,
Grievous.
yeah."
this tall.
He talked me into it. It's like, yeah, but it's cool. It's big. It's this, that. It was from
It was Sideshow's version of
was it
the.
Kotobuki or was it the other
It's
one?
weird. It's not a Hot Toys. It's the one Sideshow did themselves. I don't know why
okay.
Hot Toys passed
Wait,
on that model.
It's a
He's
really
awesome.
it's a really cool model.
He
It's
is
awesome.
awesome.
It's really cool.
6
And I-
scale. He's
and I would
fits
like
right.
nothing better than to take like a hammer.
I'll make
to
sure
it.
I'll bring him to the store to sit next to the table when
That'd
I
be great. That'd be
heal
great
you
because
with
I'll
it.
just buy you another one because that one's getting wrecked. Okay, yeah, I'll tell you
We
right
gotta
now.
find you a
That's gonna cost me a couple $100 that day because it's just getting smashed.
You know what? I think my kids, I guarantee it's down in the basement. I have a Grievous
Grievous
voice changing mask
my
from old. I'm going to put fresh batteries in that thing. You're wearing that. I'm sorry.
Be prepared for physical pain. That's what I'm saying.
physical and mental pain.
Yeah. So.
Well, I'm glad you had fun. That's awesome.
No, we had a blast. A lot of people, and then I had so much fun that I am now in the league that we are starting. Actually, today's Wednesday.
In
The league started. They weren't sure if I was going to come in or not, so they actually gave me the bye this week, which gives me some time to
prep and
blow the dust off all of my ships, get my cards together. I actually had to borrow Toph's Rogue class Starfighter because I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just go crack one open off the shelf.
sold
And
out.
we were out of stock.
They sold out.
It's like, oh my god. So I called him up in a panic. Toph, please bring, and
That's because
he-
Cad Bane's awesome.
Yes.
He's really
Yes.
good.
So either way, we had fun. The new ships are cool. There's some new stuff coming. I'll give you updates on how I fare. I'm anticipating maybe 1-win season, probably if I get lucky, because I'm gonna run into those rocks. They're gonna be blowing up all day. But it was fun. I had fun. I'm looking forward to being in the league.
Cool. Keep an eye out for them. Monday, the Wednesdays and Mondays have been like the new. The
Oh,
days
they've
for
been
play.
popping in on Monday now. Some guys, scheduling conflicts or whatever, so we almost have like 2 days of X-wing now.
Cool.
And it's being flown even on off days too. So people are obviously coming out of the woodwork because the new rules have settled down a little. The dust has settled.
While we're thinking it, you want to run through the rest of the schedule? So we got X-Wing on Mondays. We got
Mhm.
MCPs on Tuesdays.
Tuesdays.
For those of you interested in that,
Yeah.
come out on
Yeah.
Tuesdays.
Full on X-wing with the league on Wednesdays.
And pick me up games. People just show up for regular games too.
Did you
non-league
mention
games.
Modern Modern?
Oh,
on
Modern
Monday?
Magic, yeah.
and
On Mondays.
Thursdays is trading card games, some Flesh and Blood, some board games
Board
also
games
get played
also,
on Thursday.
yeah.
Yep. Friday, of course, is Magic.
FNM every Friday.
Saturday, lots of minis games.
Saturday, lots of
Warhammer.
mini games.
It's pretty
and
mixed. Saturday, Sunday have been.
it's been kind of like a hodgepodge. It's a potpourri of gaming.
Oh,
wait, that deserves a drink?
that's drink.
It's a potpourri of gaming.
May Savage find your potpourri.
Oh my goodness. Is that the voice we're gonna have to drink with now all the time? Whenever we use that voice.
That's the red. That's the velvet jacket pipe.
Oh, that's when we get the high chairs with the smoking pipe.
And then
And
Sunday is Flesh and Blood in the
Flesh and Blood,
morning,
yeah.
and over the other events during the day.
There are D&D groups, about 3 or 4 D&D groups now in the store, playing at various times. So things are busy.
Yeah.
It's always good.
Shout out to FaZe for taking over some of the Flesh and Blood stuff. Good, thanks for running those.
Word up, phase.
Phase on. Also word up to Phase. If you haven't noticed, our social media presence has expanded 1,000-fold.
Exponential.
And why is that?
Why? Because our boy Fifth Faison has been fantastic. He's having a blast. I love. He comes in the store and he just starts grabbing product and he's like setting up like pyramids and triangles.
I was playing Blood Bowl the other day, and all I
Yeah.
saw was him run over and start taking pictures of it. It's like, oh, you're taking pictures of it for the okay.
For the it's just really he did.
So if you see a weird guy walking around taking pictures of stuff, it's
Yeah.
for Instagram.
Yeah.
He's been,
social media.
he's been dabbling into TikTok too, which is pretty fun. We had Aiden hiding in the
the
singles
cabinet.
case. It was pretty cool.
That's right.
He did another TikTok yesterday with like the villainous games. He started with the Darth Vader one,
As one should.
as one should. Power of the Dark Side, and he was playing Imperial March, and he showed all the villainous games. So he's having fun with it, which I'm glad. But on a personal note, I just want to thank him because he's actually just been doing this out of the kindness of his heart. I'm trying to give him money. He refuses to take it, but he keeps telling me, he goes, I'll let you know when. So I think he's waiting for me to be completely hooked, and he's going to drop like this big bill on my table.
There you go.
But I'll take it because it's been whatever he asks, it's been worth it.
All
So-
the lockers are built in the store.
All the lockers, yeah. That all banging that you heard during your war cry was
Yep.
me smashing bolts and nuts together to get
Industrial construction.
all 27 of our lockers, of which we have now sold 12 already. So filled up. People were starting to trick them out. There's magnets popping up. There's stickers popping up. I'm anticipating the FOMO to be real when everybody sees everybody using their lockers, especially with the fall coming, and you stick a jacket in there, and you stick a hat in there. Or you
Backpack.
start pulling out like 3 different, oh, you want to play that tonight? Oh, you want to play this tonight? You
I
wanna
got
play
my
that tonight?
352 in the car. We're gonna go test it, make sure that
That fits in the
Army,
locker?
Was it
Which one? The
352, you mean the battle foam?
The
bag,
battle
Battle
foam?
foam?
Yes,
The
the
battle foam?
352 battle foam bag I have in my
I
car. We're gonna
think
test it.
it'll fit. I mean,
I
we got that
measured
big.
it for.
we
It's
got
that
that big-
front bag. It's like it's
I
puffy.
don't know,
like,
dude. We got that GW box in there, man. I think anything. We got that Twilight Imperium in
fit-
there.
Twilight Imperium
Could
fits
fit
in there.
Just about anything.
Everyone
could
could fit in there.
Twilight
Exactly.
Imperium fit in there with a copy of Outer Rim.
Oh,
Like, it
Yes,
was
I mean it
wild.
was vertical.
Outer
mine-
mint.
Outer Mint.
With Outer Mint. Fantastic. So, all right, that's what's been going on at the store.
Yeah,
That's
next week, Toph's coming in.
Next week, yeah, we're going to be filming that Friday. I don't know when we'll post it. I guess we'll have to leave it up to Phil, who working his magic. We don't want to stress him out.
Might replace in news. We'll have our interview with Toph, and we'll talk all
Yeah, we don't
things
want.
X-Wing.
He might put an unedited version
and
of the
gaming.
show,
Let's
and
get
then
under
we're
the
going to be
skin
canceled.
of Toph and see what Satan really has done.
You want to get down to
Let's
the
go
deep, dark,
yeah.
chewy,
We're going- I told him tough
chewy
questions.
middle of
The-
K-Top's
the
filthy
nougat?
cheaters.
The
Yeah.
nougat?
The
Yeah.
nougat of
Yeah.
Toph.
How deep fried is KFC?
Yeah, K-Top actually sounds like a candy bar, right?
Yeah.
You want a K? Instead of a Kit Kat, you
Yeah.
have a K-Top?
Yeah.
Give me a
What's
break.
the-
Break me off a piece of that K-Top bar.
K-Tough bar?
Yeah, that'll work too.
Yeah.
All right.
Better. It's better than what Baron calls him.
K-Tough,
So,
K-Tough, I apologize in advance.
yeah.
We're gonna have some fun.
gonna get
So
rough.
if you're a fan of X-Wing, the next video we're gonna post up will be mostly focused around Toph, his interests, and his infinite knowledge when it comes to X-Wing.
Yeah, and personal stuff.
And we're gonna have a little fun in the process.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, which be prepared. It's going to be fun. Toph, you're doomed. Doomed, I tell you. That's about it.
Yep.
So as always, thanks for tuning in. I like to always say, never stop gaming.
Roll 20s, 6s, and crits, and go Bucks.
And if you want to roll 20s, 6s, and crits, just melt your dice like K-Tough.
Yeah, with blood.
Pay your homage to the Dark Gods. Crits and hits all day.
Pain all day.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you around.
Good night.